Coming to you live from the apartment. It's Rob has a podcast, and now here's the guy who's back for draft week here on Rob has a podcast. I'm Rob Cesternino. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to our Big Brother Canada 10 live draft. First of two drafts coming up here on Rob has a podcast. It's draft month. We did our second draft with this same exact crew here in the last month. We got a lot to talk about here as Big Brother Canada snuck up on us, is back on Wednesday night. And boy, we can't wait to get the Big Brother celebrity taste out of our mouth and get some Big Brother Canada going here on Wednesday. So let's meet our panel of drafters here once again tonight. Back with us after a late run in Big Brother Canada draft. Please welcome back Aman Adwin. Aman, how are you?
I'm back, baby. Back for blood. Look,
back on camera.
I know that the story is all about how Taran got both of his players to the end of Celebrity Big Brother. But so did I, God damn it. I got my two players to the end, to the Final Four as well. And so I was sneaking up behind you, buddy. So I may not have snatched the crown last season, but I'm definitely back to make it a double win because I did win with Tyshawn last year. So hopefully I can make it happen again.
Oh, Mr. Canada in the draft.
Yes, super excited. So yeah, I'm back, and I'm back with a vengeance, baby.
Okay, all right, Aman. Good luck tonight. Okay,
thank you.
Back with us once again, the voice of the people, Melissa Deni. Melissa, how are you?
I'm doing great. I know I said that this was going to be my year during Big Brother Celebrity.
Yes.
Well, I meant this now, starting now, is going to be my year. So I'm going to do really well. I'm very much looking forward to this draft. Yeah, it's going to be good for me.
Okay. All right. Good luck tonight, Melissa. Back with us off of the last draft, not won by somebody else, that he had Xavier back in Big Brother 23. Here is Pooya Zambakili. Pooya, how are you?
I'm good, Rob. Listen. I was the first one to have the final two in the draft, okay? BB23, Big D, we don't talk about it, but I had him on my team, okay? So here's the situation. I've clearly had two very bad drafts back to back now. That's fine. That's when it comes to full season Big Brother, I feel a little bit more confident. I've got the bad mojo out the way. Hopefully this is where I can take back the back-to-back crown from Taran and start a new reign once again. We'll see.
Okay. Well, let's bring in a man who's well rested, has had a couple of days of no Big Brother live feeds. So he should be in peak condition here, coming off of back-to-back draft victories in Survivor 41, where he was grenade proof, and then the dominating performance of Misha and Todrick, the dynamic duo. Here he is, the robot, now the Terminator, Taran Armstrong.
The reigning champ, I have returned. Luckily, sometimes you gotta do these drafts, even though you kind of become a little bit bigger than the draft. Sometimes you come in
bigger than the draft. Oh my god!
Kind of come in, you make it work.
Okay.
I'm here. I'm ready to go. I'm not afraid to defend the title, and I'm ready.
Okay. All right. Wait, that sounds like a man who says that he's ready to eat some nuggets if he doesn't win the draft.
Listen, I mean, Taran, you're saying you're bigger than the draft. Are you bigger than the McNugget wager?
Taran, how many meatballs would you eat if you don't win the draft?
The audacity.
Unbelievable. I make no such nuggets or meatball bets. I don't need them.
Chapsticks?
How many chapsticks?
Yeah, can we entice you with some chapsticks?
See, these are incentives for lesser drafters.
Oh my god!
Oh.
Okay, Rob, look, can we get this started, please? I'm ready now. Because
All right, well,
wow.
he didn't shook up the bee's nest now.
I mean, the way it's all going to work is that Taran has won the last draft. So he is going to come up with the order. We are going to take 3 Big Brother Canada participants. The audience and my son Dominic will get whoever is left. I had a big argument at my house. My son very much, he heard we were doing the Big Brother Canada draft. He wanted to be on the draft. I said, you can't be just on the draft. He's like, why not? I had that we're not just going to kick somebody off. He's like, you don't have to. I'm like, no, we're not doing that. So he can also share with the audience. Well, he's part of the audience.
It's okay to admit that you're worried that he's gonna.
I should have had him draft for me. So maybe next year, if this goes poorly, maybe no. Big Brother US. That's my. I'm right there usually on Big Brother US, but Big Brother Canada has been a blind spot for me. All right, Taran, here we are. Do you have a draft order for us tonight?
Well, you all filled out the survey, right? That I gave to you all. That just telling me what draft order you had ready to go
with all our picks. Yeah. I thought it was required.
Mine was just my Wendy's order.
Oh no!
I saw no such survey. This did not get sent out to me. So
likely story.
This data is incomplete and inconclusive, and therefore
Aman gets automatic last pick.
All right. Does anybody want the first pick? I'm curious.
I want first pick.
Melissa wants the first pick. All right. Melissa.
Is that simple?
Yeah.
All right. Well,
this seems like a trap.
Does anybody want the second pick?
I'll take the second pick.
I don't like this because this is like now we can't blame you if we do poorly. Like I like having that backup of like if I do poorly, I'm like, well, Taran picked the draft order and it sucked for me.
Well, now you don't have that.
This seems like a game within a game. I don't know.
That's Survivor.
Does anybody want the third pick? Me, I want the third pick. I'm the third pick.
Okay, all right. So who was the second pick? That was Pooya.
Pooya. And Aman, for your birthday, I'll let you choose 4th or 5th.
Wow. Okay. Let me choose 4th or 5th. Yeah.
Kind of a crappy birthday gift.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, specifically.
Yeah.
I think I'll go for number 5.
Okay.
Great Mambo, great pick.
I love it.
Okay. All right. So then
how many do we each get?
3.
We'll each have 3.
Okay.
Now, Rob, I know that in the past we've had like the second round be a little bit out of order.
The third round. I mean, that's right, because I think it's not super fair that somebody get like Melissa, for instance, would get if it was a true snake draft on only 3 rounds. Melissa would have picks 1, 10, and 11, as opposed to Aman, who then would have 5, 6, and then 15.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
but I don't want to force my will on the panel.
Well, I mean. It's whatever. I mean, it's I
all
think
the same for Taran, and it's going to be the middle of each round.
It would have impacted my draft order, but you know what? It's fine. I'm okay.
Mm-hmm. So what do we want to do?
Hey, go with what you feel, Rob.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's fair.
Which way am I?
To alter the draft order for the third.
Okay. All right. So
we go random.
Yeah. So then the random.
Isn't that what we
no,
did?
it's not random. It would be then so then we would have where it would be it would go back from then Aman, Rob, Taran, Pooya, Melissa would be for round number 3.
You just disappeared and now you're behind everyone.
You just altered the draft order, I think. You just
I broke the hourglass.
We're in a different universe now.
You can still hear me? We're all good?
Yeah.
You're good now. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So then round 3 would be once again Aman, Bob, Taran, Pooya, Melissa.
I'll let you guys just tell me who's picking because I'm confused now.
So Melissa, you'll have the first pick, the 10th pick, and the 15th pick.
Okay.
Fair
enough.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
Cool.
All right.
We will show you photos of each person as they are drafted as well. Okay. All right. So, Melissa, you want to get this party started?
Yes. Pull up
By the way, let me just say, we are getting our coverage of Big Brother Canada kicked off on Wednesday night. I believe that myself, Taran, Melissa, and Chappelle will be live with you after the episode on Wednesday. And then if Big Brother Canada holds true to form, we should see an eviction on Thursday night. Taran, have we heard anything about that?
Not that I'm aware of, but I think we can assume that, we'll see an eviction.
I think they've done it, 9 times, basically?
Yeah, and then live feeds will start that night.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. So, and then join podcast coverage coming up on Thursday. Live feed update Thursday morning?
Friday morning.
Friday morning. Okay. Of course, you want to make sure you're subscribed. These podcasts will be in our Big Brother podcast feed. Go to robbinswebsite.com/BB feed to subscribe to all of our Big Brother podcasts and not miss a thing. Or be sure to hit the subscribe button on YouTube. Okay. An eviction is announced for Thursday. Okay. So once again, we will see a first week eviction on Big Brother Canada. All right. Here we go.
Right.
Melissa.
Well, I think you might all know who I would like to pick and who I really want to pick and who I'm going to pick. So I'm just going to go for it and I'm going to pick the real Kyle Moore. I'm very, very excited about having him on the show this season. My jaw dropped when I saw him on the preview or on the commercial. And I just think that if I didn't already know that he's a really great guy, really intelligent guy, really, smart guy. If I didn't, and also like easy to get along with, if I didn't already know those things, I think the intro video would have sealed it for me anyway. I thought his intro video was really well done. I thought that I loved how he said that he'd prepared for it all year. I mean, it's one thing to sit there and be like, yeah, the people wanted me on, so I figured why not? I'll just, apply and then see what happens and maybe I'll get famous or whatever. Like it wasn't like that at all. It was like he heard about the show, he watched the show, he became part of the Twitter community and, Big Brother community. And he really integrated himself and also, then spent time actually prepping for it seemingly. I mean, he did a lot of physical preparation, hopefully watched some seasons, mental prep, etc. So I feel good about his chances because he also has a great personality. So I'm very excited to see what he does in the house. And that's why he's my number 1 draft pick.
Okay. The chalk number 1, Kyle Moore.
Mm-hmm. There it is.
Here he is.
I asked who wanted first pick. It was really just asking who wanted Kyle Moore.
That's honestly what I thought going into this draft.
That's what I figured. I was like, whoever's going to get first is going to pick him. So I wanted him.
Yeah. No.
I mean, who knows what's going to happen with him? He could totally flop because, for whatever reason. But I do feel like I like him a lot as a person. And I just feel like I don't know. I'm excited to see what he does.
Yeah, well, the thing is that obviously the audience are very much fans of him. He was the chosen one that was not given to us last year. I think that what you said, Melissa, his bio, like if we didn't know him, he was giving us all the right answers in the bio.
Ominous.
When he asked what his strategy was going to be going in the house, in his bio, he wrote that he originally wanted to be overlooked in the house, but then he realized his skill set would be better served by approaching the game like chess. Move first, attack in the middle, and castle early. I want to win the first HOH to set the board. We've talked about how the evolving meta of the game is if you win the first HOH, you can set yourself up rather nicely. So that's good. I like that from him. I think he's going to be very sociable. He played like 3 sessions of Among Us with us and fit right in as if like he was playing with us every week. The one thing that could go against him, he is coming in as the youngest person in the house, even though I don't think he necessarily would be acting the youngest in the house. And he did mention in one of the videos where they asked, what would you want to keep a secret? He mentioned that he can get very worked up and you know, his OCD, his anxiety kind of kicks in and makes him like really burrow and overthink things. So he doesn't want people to know how worked up he could potentially get. But I think if he can keep that under wraps, I think he's going to be very solid this season.
Definitely.
Yeah, I went back and I watched some of the games that he played with us in Among Us, and I went over them on Twitch, and I think the key is what Pooya said, that his social game, in terms of like coming into a group of people playing a game that they had more experience playing, that they all know each other, and all the inside jokes. He came in, he had full confidence, he was talking with us, joking with us. I think that speaks very well of his ability to get in there and blend in and make connections. And then in terms of, you know, the strategy of playing these kinds of little social strategy games online, at least, is that, you know, he not only was able to hold his own socially, but he also was kind of an independent thinker, often in the wrong direction. He would get things wrong a lot, but he was not swayed by the social pressure of, you know, people saying, no, this is so obviously this is what it is. And I think that's actually going to be a good thing for him in the game, because even if you're wrong, being able to sort of think independently and not, you know, bow to the will of the house, especially if it's, you know, with somebody who's very social and very good at making connections with people, I think you tend to pull people in your direction more than you know, just strike off more in the wrong direction. Exactly. Yeah. So I do have high hopes here for Kyle.
So he would not have been my first choice. If I had gotten number one pick, I would not have chosen Kyle. I do agree with what everyone has said so far. However, I think I'm a little lower on him than most people, only because we know that there are probably about 1 to 2 cast members right now that are probably going to know who Kyle Moore is.
Yes.
I just don't know if they're the type to be like, oh my God, that's Kyle Moore. That's so cool. Let's work together. Or if they're going to be, oh my God, that's Kyle Moore. He's got all of the support from the audience. Let's get him out of here. I just don't know quite yet. That being said, like you said, great personality. He's wonderful. I mean, there's also something to be said that it might be a little easier making connections online with a community that has already opened their arms up widely to you. Not saying that Kyle isn't a great human being from what we know of him so far, but I'm saying it's a very unique storyline that he has going for himself, and as fantastical and as fairy tale like as it is it happily ever after, or is it to be continued? Okay, so I'm just a little, I'm not putting all my chips on Kyle quite yet. He's a very exciting pick. I definitely would have wanted to have him at least part of my team. First pick, no, but definitely, I mean, like, this never happens. We never get a chance to like get to know somebody literally before they go into the show, and they're only on the show because we thought they were on the show. This has never happened.
We found him.
Ever. We like exactly. So this is amazing. This is I mean, we all. I mean, I feel like even though Melissa has him, we all kind of have Kyle right now. Like, it's just.
I agree.
So
and in a way, yeah, if Kyle Moore wins, I still win because I did definitely draft him in the previous game.
Taran, that is not how this works, Taran. Stop it. You stop that right now.
Do we know if he's going to go into the house and tell people his like origin story, or do we think he's going to keep that?
I don't think he's hiding it. I don't think he's hiding it.
Yeah.
If people know him, they know him. I don't think he's going to be like, it's me, the guy who Twitter wanted. Like, he's not going to do that. But if someone's like,
but if someone knew it,
yeah, I don't think he's going to like hide that by any means.
And I think he has like the meet cute of like, do you remember last season there was a guy, Kyle Moore, like people thought it was me. And that's, I just started watching the show. I don't even know what I'm doing here.
And that's another thing. Like, just because I know there's probably going to be 1 or 2 people that know who he is. And they might be like, okay, well, if you know who Kyle Moore is, then you know that he's also not, this is his first, he's never watched. So he's spent 1 year prepping for this show. And I don't know, I feel like 1 year prepping for this show can sometimes pale in comparison to someone who has been wanting to be a part of the show for so long and knows everything there is to know about it. Or, 1 year prepping for this show might be the better way to go, because we've seen some super fans come on the show and just flail out. So it's going to be an interesting experiment. I'll be watching him closely. I just want to see how he interacts and how he is going to apply all of the knowledge that he has gained over the past year, and how many podcasts he's gone back and listened to. So this will be very fun to watch him. And I'm excited. I think he definitely has. I'm probably more of a middling as far as like where I see him. I think he has the potential to go far. I just don't know if he's at the time yet in his fandom to snag a win.
Couple of things. Okay, if this works, does BB Casting scour Canada for another Kyle Moore for BBCAN 11?
A third Kyle Moore?
Yes, every season, Kyle Moore.
Hey, I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So
all the Kyle Moores.
I don't know if they should go for all the Kyle Moores, but I do think that they should, look more to us to have a hand in casting because, I mean,
Hold on a second. Melissa, let's not get too carried away. I don't know if we did this. So
Twitter found him.
But like they found him because he had the same name. It's not like Twitter randomly.
We could find someone. Maybe not someone who's like never heard of the show, like in this specific situation, but definitely someone who we think should be on the show who they won't even give like a second look to. I think.
I mean, and not to take anything from Kyle, like we said, he's great, he's charming. Like he still had to go into casting and charm the hell out of those producers, and he did just that. So he could have been, because I mean, no shade to the other Kyle Moore. I mean, but he was an alternate, and I can understand why he was. I mean, he wasn't necessarily great television, So this Kyle Moore at least seems to be a bit more likable. Yeah. Like the camera loves him. Like it's a good pick. It's a solid pick.
Has old Kyle Moore said anything about this? Yes. What did old Kyle Moore say?
He said something along the lines of, "You better be thankful," or something like that. Like, "Oh, you don't forget where you came from or why you're even there." To which I say,
the Ray J. He's like, "I did it first. Relax, Kyle."
Okay. To which I say, "You're only there because someone else was horrible." So
yeah, and that guy's like, "Hey, old Kyle Moore." Don't forget where you came from.
Do you think they made this Kyle Moore an alternate in order to fulfill the prophecy? That like they were like, he has to be and then if we drop somebody, then yes, it was meant to be.
I don't know. We'll find out. All right, so congratulations to Melissa, owner of Kyle Moore in the draft. Pooya, you had the number 2 pick overall.
That's right. So initially I didn't say, yeah, I'll take first pick because I don't know if Terrence playing some reverse mind game. He's like, all right, then 5th for you. So I was like, I'm not going to do that. Second, once Melissa got first, I'm like, you know what? I'm happy with second because that takes the edge off of me having to be like, well, I'm definitely picking Kyle. It opened up the rest of my board for me. There is one person on this board that I felt very confident in placing in my top 2 placements. And the one word that can describe them is perfect. I'm going with the doctor, Josh. Josh is going to be my pick off the board here.
Dr. Josh, okay.
There is the only thing that scares me with Josh is that he's perfect. Literally, and I cannot stress this enough. Everything I've seen from him, his personality, his mannerisms, his physique, his intellect, it's all 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10. Answered, he talked about in his What's Your Strategy Going to the House?
10.
Exactly. He wants to be in a part of a strong alliance. He wants to, maybe pair up with an older person that might not seem as a threat. But then he said he wants to start in the larger alliance closer to Jury, then start separating himself later on. Again, I like that answer. That gives me good understanding of what's going on. And maybe if this was any other season, I would have been a little bit scared. But we just saw Tashawn do very good, even though he came in looking like a potential threat to take the whole thing. We saw Xavier come in and kind of do something similar. And in my opinion, I feel like Josh has everything and then some to really, really do a good spot here. He's extremely likable. He's extremely fun to watch. I'm keen to see where we go with Josh. So this was an easy decision for me to pick Josh here.
I'm concerned about Josh. To be honest, I feel like at first I was really into him, but then there were certain things that he said in his intro package and his interviews that made me a little nervous about him. He talked about how he can be like extremely petty and like behind people's backs, he said. And it started to make me think that like maybe he has like a darker side. I don't know. I could just see a situation where he's kind of the mean guy. I don't know. I just that I was starting to get those vibes from him. Like he kind of like hides it behind like a fun, like I'm a great person kind of thing. I mean, I'm not saying he's a bad person. I'm saying like I could see him like getting into like drama or being like kind of messy. And so that would be concerning for me in terms of like his gameplay. I'm sure he's like a great guy, but that just kind of like gave me pause on him. Whereas like initially I was like all on board. And so that is the only thing that I noticed that I was like, maybe this isn't like as perfect as we think. So I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think he could be George Clooney perfect. But I did, there was, as similar to Melissa, there was a video where they said who they wanted to play like, emulate. And Josh said he wished he could play like Ica, but probably would play like Cindy with an S. And that's an interesting choice. I mean, like saying that you'll probably play like Cindy with an S, who is like famous for
two-time
making
player,
the worst moves of all time, is like, I mean, that's, hopefully not a self-fulfilling prophecy. Hopefully it's it's a little bit of self-awareness and humor, right?
Yeah, he's got jokes. He's fun. He's funny too.
Right.
Oh my God. Come on, team.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
Perfect jokes.
That's how I interpreted it as well, Pooya. I think he's just someone who sort of like knows what his lane is, and he's not trying to be like, oh, well, I'm gonna be like Kevin Martin. If you're not a Kevin Martin, then you're not a Kevin Martin. So he probably would have been my first pick. I knew I was not going to get him by choosing 4th or 5th place, which is fine. But I instantly connected with Josh. Everything about his story, about it, growing up and everything. The one thing that really grabbed me and I was just like completely sold was the fact that his mother is in medical school after he's already completed. That is something that my mom and I have talked about numerous times. If I've ever made the decision to actually go back and do the medicine thing, my mom said, Aman, if you take that step, I will take that step with you. So as soon as I saw that, I was like, I have to have Josh. I have to. So congratulations, Pooya. But I agree. I think that he's a solid big guy. He's got a good head on his shoulders. He went into peds. Peds is no joke. Okay, like for you to dedicate your life to being a pediatrician, like that's a lot of work. Residency is not hard. The fact that he was even able to get time away from residency and come to play Big Brother, that is a true fan right there. Because I don't know if I would do that if I were in residency. That's a lot of time to just sort of like take a step away. And so I think I'm excited about him. I'm excited to watch him play. I think having a stable position, like working that hard to bring yourself up out of poverty into being on the way to becoming a doctor, I think that takes a lot of willpower and a lot of hard work and discipline. And that often translates itself well, especially in the late half of Big Brother Canada. So I think it's a great pick. I think he'll go far.
Thank you. One other thing, he does have 11 siblings. So
yeah,
going into a house with 15 other people, there's a lot of people here that talked about they've lived alone, and I think he's going to be very easy to deal with the conditions of that house as well.
There you go. All right. Well, I think
any downside here, Taran?
Well, I mean, like I said, I feel like Cindy with an S is an interesting choice, but no, I think he's going to do well. The thing I liked the most about Josh was what he said about starting an alliance early. I mean, we know how successful that is as a strategy, and not enough people said it. So if Josh is in an alliance early, then he's probably going to be set for a little while. So be on the lookout for Josh for sure.
Okay. All right. Taran knew exactly where he wanted to be tonight. That was the third pick. He is at the third pick. Taran, did any of your top picks already get sniped, or did you get exactly who you thought you were going to get with the third pick?
Everything happened exactly how I thought it would happen.
Sure.
Melissa, I knew would want Kyle. Pooya, he was talking about Josh's body in our First Impressions podcast.
Good body.
And I played this man down in the First Impressions podcast because I really like him. I'm going with the Moose.
The Moose. Wow. So you were playing the long game. You were trying to convince Pooya you didn't really like him in the First Impressions podcast.
Yeah.
Well, that's fair. I've been dropping hints that I didn't want to be the first pick in the draft in case he would give it to me. So fair game. Fair. We're both playing 3-dimension chess here.
All right. Not Marsha, but we have the Moose.
Going with the Moose. I feel like a lot of people have been kind of down on Moose. But I liked him. I feel like he's a charming guy. I really liked what I saw from him about like he has a lot of different like random skill sets. Like he's a good bowler, and he's athletic, but he doesn't look it. And I think that's going to be really great for competitions. And we know that competitions are very important here on Big Brother. Now, Arissa has told us that they are trying to move in a direction of more equitable competitions. And I'm kind of betting that they're still not going to go far enough. I hope I'm wrong. But I like Moose. I feel like he should be able to fit in early on. I feel like hopefully he'll be able to win some competitions. And I just think he's a charming guy, and I'm curious to see how he does.
Got great hair.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Great hair.
Very great hair.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I actually liked him. I had him in my top half. I feel like at first I kind of was like, oh, he's just a goofball. Like he's not in it. But he was super charismatic, and I thought that he did really well in his interviews, and kind of like it seemed like he's the type of person who could get along with everyone and kind of fit in. My concern with him is like, does he have the drive to win was my question. Because it was kind of hard to tell. At the same time, we had someone like Dane, who I was like, this guy is just a joke. He's a goofball. He's just there for comic relief. And then it turned out that he was extremely strategic and a really great player. So, I was kind of looking at him in that vein. I mean, hopefully he can do just as well. I guess like one other thing that concerned me a little is when he said like, nobody can be a bigger personality than me. And it's kind of like, oh, that's maybe not a great thing, especially when you're like living with people for a long period of time. But overall, I did feel like I liked his video and I was intrigued by him. I thought that he was, easy to get along with. And so he's definitely up there for me. Maybe not first pick, but. One
of Moose's high school friends reached out to me on Twitter and said, hey, I went to high school with Moose. I can give you some insight for the draft. Yes. I was like, please tell me more. So I'm going to read out what I got here. Incredibly nice guy.
That he wouldn't go to anyone else.
No, he went to Pooya.
I'm down. Wow, have you seen my draft performance? I'm down bad. I need all the help I can get. So even the audience is like,
just won for Big Brother US. And Celebrity Big Brother barely even counts, especially this season because it was a blood win. Let's be honest.
I haven't won since Casey in Big Brother 20, I think. That was a long time ago.
It was my birthday. Maybe it was a birthday present. I don't know.
All right. Okay, go ahead.
Wow.
Okay, so really nice guy, the type to get along with anyone. Definitely the kind of guy who likes attention, which can be a good or bad thing. Very athletic, but doesn't look like it, which I think would be good for his threat level. They mentioned where they're a bit worried is that they don't think he's necessarily a huge fan of the game itself. I might need to learn a little bit. And they said he has a potential to go far. Maybe not the winner, who's to say? But I think Moose could be an underrated draft pick. And after looking at the bios earlier today, I did another watch to take my notes. There were some parts that I liked, some parts that did worry me. In the little speed run questions, backstab your alliance or stay true, he said stay true. Now, if the alliance is doing well, you're doing a good job, don't matter. So that's completely fine. He does want to get 1 to 2 people early, get them all the way to the end. I think this is a little bit more of like the pretty boy strat that he might be looking at, which is not a bad shot for him. There was one other bit for me that I did notice and was a little bit intrigued by. Kyle Moore follows him on Instagram. And
which one?
The one on the season, Rob, the relevant one. And I think we found out that they both went to the same program, but like a year or so apart. And he does do some content for TSN, I believe. So there's a chance Kyle might know who he is and recognize him. That could be interesting to see play out. He is another one of the younger people in the house, but I will say when I heard him speak Arabic in his video, I fell in love. I was like, this takes me back home a little bit. So I'm here for Moose. I'm here to see Moose play out. He wasn't in my top half, but I'm glad he's getting a little bit of recognition here. It's cool.
When we have people like Moose who are here as a content creator is their occupation, does that tell us anything in terms of like how they play the game? Are they sort of like not as willing to sort of be the bad guy and get their hands dirty potentially because they don't want to be seen as villainous on the show?
Are you saying that Pop and Paul Jackson
Right now, I will become the bad guy.
is not a content machine?
He
Was that
full
his
of content.
title? Yeah.
I don't know if it affects people in Canada as much. Definitely, probably more so over here in the States. But over there, I don't necessarily know if it's as volatile a market. And it also kind of just depends on like what kind of content creator you are. Like if you're a prankster content creator, then going on Big Brother Canada and being the villain is probably better for your brand than going on there and trying to be Captain Canada. Screw that. That's boring. That's old. So
Tell that to the Grim Kiefer, Aman.
Well, I mean, I think Moose definitely was playing it up a little bit for the camera, so that suggests to me that he kind of is aware of how all of this will work, and like he's leaning into certain bits of his personality. But I do think that he probably still has a bit of a mind for the game. So I'm excited. He was like on my lower end of top picks because he does excite me. He doesn't have that same sort of like, whereas I feel like last year when we were doing the draft, there are like some similarities between the way that he was presenting himself and the way that Rohan was presenting himself. Both of them were like, I'm going to be like the one behind the scenes. I'm going to be doing this, that, and the third. Whereas with Rohan, it felt more like, yeah, and I'm going to be devious and get them all out. Where with Moose, it feels a bit more fresh, a bit more fun, a bit more carefree, a bit more like I'm in on the joke, guys. Like I'm here to have fun. So it makes me feel like, yeah, like he'll find his niche, he'll find his group. They'll all be like, oh, Moose, as opposed to ew, Moose, and he'll probably take it pretty deep. So I'm excited. I'm excited for Moose.
Okay.
Look, I'm here to make bold picks.
Yeah,
I do.
It's grenade proof. Cannot be grenaded. Yes. All right. The fourth pick falls to me, correct? And then Aman for
Yes.
2.
Mhm.
Okay. I'm thinking I don't get this person at 6 if I don't go with them here. I'm gonna guess they don't get past Aman.
Okay.
And that is why I'm gonna go here with somebody very high on my board. Give me Jessica.
Okay.
Okay. Jessica is a big fan. Seems very fun, ready to go into the house, watch the seasons multiple times. That Big Brother Canada, more so than Big Brother US, can give us sort of they love sort of like quirky characters. I could see her doing very well. That I think that maybe she could have some, or they could have some Sarah Hanlon to them. And I'm gonna take Jessica here. Knows the show inside and out, and I think that doesn't necessarily give off that vibe, and could be somebody that people are sleeping on. And I think somebody that is able to get under the radar to a degree, keep it fun, good vibes in the house.
Yeah,
Guaranteed good vibes.
Jessica did mention that they wanted to play like Sarah Hanlon in that video of theirs. I like Jessica a lot. They are somebody that knows the show really well. They are somebody that has consumed our content. And their partner is I think in the chat right now.
Yes.
And I think that's all good, especially because I don't know that you would immediately assume that of them, unlike maybe some of the other people on the cast, one of them in particular. So I think that's a good thing. I think that they will be able to bond with people over the fact that they're a big fan of the show. They probably will know who Kyle Moore is, and they can probably bond with him over that. And I think that I'm definitely I'm curious to see how they sort of navigate the house. I think that there's a lot of potential here. Would it have been my first pick? Maybe not, I do like Jessica, and I'm hopeful that they do well.
Yeah, so like I mean, you're probably right, Rob. I don't know if she would have made it past me.
You have
but
two picks now.
Yeah, but the one thing that like kept ringing in my head was Taran's voice when I kept thinking about Jessica. Is like, well, she can't win comps. She said she's not
more
good
equitable
at winning comps. And so I'm like, I don't know about that last stretch, man. Like, we know that they have switched things around a little bit to try to make things a little bit more equitable in terms of like, you know, mental versus physical versus puzzle, all that stuff. But like, if you cannot win comps to save your life, like if people are able to sniff her out and they're like, because you know,
Right.
I don't know if I agree, Rob. I don't know if she's going to be able to be under the radar that much. I mean, I feel like there are a lot of physical hallmarks that compare her to Sarah Hanlon. And if there are other big fans in that house, are going to be like, ooh, she's kind of under the radar. Ooh, she's kind of, you know, she might, you know, she's studying the day. She's got a calendar. She's, you know, she's got the Fruit Loops. So like, I'm like, are they going to take her out? And if she can't win that veto, then so, I mean, definitely in the beginning, I don't think you'll have to worry about her, but the end game is where I'm like, can she do it? And so I probably still would have picked her though. So I still think it's a good pick, but it did give me pause.
Yeah, this is a little cliche, but I do think the fact that they wear glasses, at least in the picture, like not gonna help. Because I think it's gonna make them feel like the perception is that, you know, they're smart. They know that's what happens in the house all the time. Also, just if people have not listened to the First Impressions podcast, Jessica goes by either they, them, or she, her. So either one works. I believe that her partner said in the chat that they prefer they, them, but either one is fine.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I feel like Jessica, I think Jessica was not wearing glasses in one of the videos, if I'm remembering correctly. So I wonder if maybe they're not intending to wear glasses the whole time.
Ditch
and maybe it was just like a casting thing. I don't know. But I did like how they said that they were going to be flexible with the strategy and how, like, you know, it's not necessarily like what people want to hear, but it's best to go in maybe without a strategy and kind of just adapt as you go. And I feel like a few years ago, I would have been like, that's a no answer. That's not even an answer. That gives us nothing. But I think they're right. Like at this point, it does kind of seem like the strategy can change up just depending on who's in the house, who's on the cast. And so I feel like that's actually like a smart strategy going in. I also feel like on a normal Big Brother US season, I'd probably be like, well, can they fit in with the cast? You know, you never know if they'll be able to, you know, they're quirky. Will they be able to fit in? It's Big Brother Canada. The whole cast basically is like a bunch of quirky people. So I feel like that really shouldn't be a problem this season. I mean, we'll hope, but yeah, I feel like it's not as out there as Big Brother US, where they're like, we're gonna have one quirky person and that's it. So yeah, I feel like it's a good pick. They seem to know the show a lot, and yeah, I'm interested in seeing what they
like good age too. Not going to be seen as like one of the I keep forgetting what Evie called the old,
later days. Yes.
Yeah, not part of the later days. Not like
much older.
Kid.
Later days.
Yeah, 35, but not coming in and not going to be seen as like the mom of the house. So,
a youthful 35.
Yeah,
yes.
A lot of life experience. So I feel good about Jessica going.
Oh my god, I am so sick of Big Brother warping our sense of age. Like it is really high time. People in their 30s, in their 40s, they are not old. We need to get over this. It is so toxic.
Over it. Like we talk about this a lot in the preseason, and every time like people are like, that's not old, but we are. I would hope that people understand that when we talk about it, like we don't mean that they're old.
And I know that
right.
I know that we don't, but of course we would feel that way when they continuously get the older people out, even when they're not old. Like even in the sense of the game, if there was like some massive paradigm shift where people were like, you know what, why are we going at it was like Hamza in season 6, where he's like, why are we going after Rosina? Why? Just because she's old? That's so stupid. Like, I'm so over it. I really am. Shout out to the older people, to the later days. Team later days.
We're not older though. That's the point, right? Like, They're literally just like in the scope of Big Brother, because Big Brother casting likes to cast an average age of like mid-20s. Anybody in their 30s plus is basically
Ancient.
older than
Later
the
days,
average.
yeah.
But they're not old. Not old.
Yes.
I mean, like we were sitting here on Thursday on the first impression, be like, yeah, it's an older cast. We got like a median age of 28. Like this is simply what they've gotten us used to. So I definitely echo Aman's feelings of it is frustrating that we're out here, being in a position where we have to refer to the 35-year-old as the older house guest. But this is where we're at.
Yes.
To bring it back to Jessica, I'm very excited to see them play. They are one of the few people in here, obviously, that I know have consumed different content from our Twitch streams, and I'm sure podcasts, and I've watched the whole show. If there's anyone that's going to know the Kyle Moore lore right out the gate, I think it's them, and I think that they would definitely try and use that to their advantage. I do love when a player is self-aware, and Jessica saying that their biggest challenge is going to be deciphering between intuition and their paranoia. I feel that is definitely, I think, something important for you to keep your mind on for when you're playing this game, navigating these kind of games. So I love that. And then there was one other thing I wanted to bring up, and if I remember it real quick, I will say it. And I think I've reached the end of the sentence where I could have said it, so I'm not going to say it.
Okay. All right. Aman has 2 picks in a row.
Yes. All right. Well, let me just come right out of the gate and say I'm going to go ahead and take to Miss Tanisha, baby. She's giving me sleeper hit.
Sleeper hit.
That's what she's giving me. I think, she's coming in with the narrative that I would like to show out for all the single moms out there, the parents out there. But, and that's all fine and lovely, but I don't even think that's the most interesting thing about her. I think the fact that she would like to come into this game, like playing like the ditzy person, is like sort of interesting to me, because she doesn't give that kind of energy at all. So I'm like, what are you really going to do? Was that a casting answer that you gave? Because if it was, I don't think that you're going to be able to fall with that. I think that you're going to have to come in and just be who you are, because who you are is so much more interesting than that facade that you're trying to allegedly come into this house with. Look, single mom, 32 years old, has got like a good solid head on her shoulders. She looks fit, in shape. I think that she's going to have the mental fortitude. I think that she's going to have the physical fortitude. I'm excited to see her play. She seems warm, caring. I love the fact that her father is very much involved with helping her raise her daughter. Team seems very tight-knit, close-knit. Like, her daughter's only 7 years old. That's a very big motivating factor when it comes to games like these.
They watch the show together.
They watch the show together. It feels right to me. It feels like she's coming into this with a purpose, with some guns, and I'm really excited to watch her play. And yeah, I'm gonna go with Miss Tanisha, baby.
Yeah, I like her a lot. She's near the top of my list for sure. I was actually shocked to hear that she was only 32, because like I first heard that she was a single mom and all that, and I was like, oh, okay, so she's like the mom that the cast got it. She's older. And then I saw she was my age, and I was like, oh my God, that is shocking to me. So I couldn't believe it. I wonder if, and I feel like she will be able to fit in with the quote unquote young cast members fairly well, because like from her intro video, she didn't seem to give off like old lady energy or anything like that. She really just seemed young and fun and everything like that. So I do appreciate that. But I do think you're right. Like, I do not get ditzy from her at all. So I don't know how she's going to pull that off, or if it's just kind of like something that she's saying she's going to do. And it's not really like ditzy per se. It's just like, oh, I'm not going to show how intelligent I am, maybe. But yeah, I really liked her a lot. Everything about her seemed good. She seemed easy to get along with, but she also seemed really intelligent and strategic. So yeah, I think that's a great pick.
Yeah, it's always something that I try to look at is, how many common interests do people have? What can they bond over? Being a parent on a cast where there's basically only one other parent, could be detrimental, but we've seen countless examples of people who were parents that had no problem. Derek, Tiffany, even Kiefer last season, talking about
Tara.
Tara didn't exactly.
She had a bumpy road, yeah. And she definitely was evicted.
Tara's an example of, I think, what I'm talking about, where she did have trouble fitting in. She identified a lot as a mother, and that wasn't something that was represented in the house very well. And so because of that, she had a little bit of trouble. So that could be an issue. But given that Tanisha's very much like, hey, I'm also like hot and I get out. I think she'll probably be fine. Other people in the game like Tiffany or even Derek, they both kind of bonded over other things outside of their children with the other house guests. I feel like Tanisha will have those things to bond with people about. So I'm not too concerned about that overall.
Yeah.
And I do think that she also seems, physically capable enough. And again, if these competitions are going to be moving in a slightly more equitable range, then I think she is especially going to be capable in the competition. So I like Tanisha as a pick.
Yeah, she just seemed very personable. And I like the fact that she said that she's not really into the drama. She's not trying to be a part of that. And while that might not be great feeds, that does make me think, okay, she's someone that thinks before she speaks. She's not about to just like go around and, be petty like some of these other people. And just, I feel like she's going to be the voice of reason in whatever alliance she finds herself in, and be like, okay, guys, well, let's think about this. Like, do we want to get rid of this person or we want to get rid of this person? I think it might be better to do this. Like, I feel like, I think that she's going to help steer this game in the way that she would like it to go. I hope that, and I'm hoping that my intuition is correct in that that she's not going to be too laid back and that she's got like the right balance right down the middle, where it's not like I'm going to be so low key that I'm like Tina and eventually give up and get thrown out, or I'm going to be more like, some of the other more active players that actually push through and get what they want done. So that's my hope for Tanisha.
Yeah, I really do like her. She was in the top half of my draft board. I do think that ultimately maybe why she wasn't like top of my board is simply because I didn't get enough information here to really solidify my thoughts on her navigation of the game. But I think as far as personability goes, as far as social goes, I think she's got both of those locked up. If I'm going to equate or compare her to a former Big Brother Canada player who also was a mother, I would go back to BBCAN 2 and look at Mumsy, Sarah from that season. I liken her to Sarah more than maybe some other people that we might compare here. I think she's got a lot of potential. And while it might be a little dull, maybe, I still think she's going to surprise us. So I'm liking this pick. It's a good pick, Aman.
Yeah, and this is probably a good time to sort of put it out there. If you weren't keeping track of the information that's out on the cast, there's not a lot of it. We are. This draft is based on the sort of like 1 to 2 minute intro videos, a bio, and then maybe a 1 to 2 minute like ET interview, plus these little videos like who they want to play as. Normally, we would have more information, but there's very little information to go. In fact, to prepare for this draft, like 10 minutes before it started, I was listening to myself and Pooya talk about our first impressions at double speed, because I was like, I don't remember, and there's been
not this meta self-referential self-study.
So definitely check that out if you want some info before the premiere. We got you.
I mean, that had most of it covered, so you can check that out.
Okay, Aman, you have another pick now to add to Tanisha.
Oh my God, this one is hard because I know there's a pick that I should probably steer away from. I don't think that this person will win, but I think that this person stands a good chance at making it far. And it's just my like hope that like maybe they'll align with the other people that I have already.
Okay.
Which could maybe he could be a shield, but I don't know. Or do I just go for another low key that's sort of like Tanisha? Damn it. Okay. Go with your gut. Go with your gut.
Okay.
Go with your gut.
You got this.
Okay. I feel like I do this every damn draft. There's always one pick where I'm over here dancing for like 10 minutes before making a decision. Okay, I am going to go.
Todd Bridges. It's Todd Bridges. There we go.
I know it's Todd Bridges all over again, but
he
made
almost
it
had it.
He did. He did. I know, doggy. I know.
They're like, go pick.
Past a point of no return.
You can and you will, Aman.
Okay.
Yeah, you can and you will.
I just feel like if I take this, then I'm leaving some valuable stuff for you guys to pick up afterwards, and that pisses me off.
Good.
Okay. I'm on. See it in your mind. Who do you think is actually going to make it to the end? Who can you actually see there? Who? Okay, I am going to take. I'm going to take Gino. I'm going to do it.
I thought that's where this was headed.
That's good. That's not a bad pick. Could have been worse.
He can go one of two ways. We know the story of the big guys. We know the story. They either are targeted first because they're big and they're out, and that's just it, because no one, and especially in a season that's coming off of BBCAN 9, where Jed and Ty were sort of like the big guns of that season, and they both made it deep by staying loyal to one another. I fear that he will be that easy target to be like, all right, let's get him out. But then again, when it comes to Big Brother Canada, winning the comps, like if you can't, if you can't get him out because he keeps winning, then that's really good. As well as the fact that they might just be like, there are other like more low-key players out there that might be more willing to keep him around, because once he's gone, who do you look at next? Because he's really one of two, I guess one of three, I would say, like big guys in the season. I don't really consider Kyle more that type of archetype. He seems a little bit more of like his own sort of lane. I would say it's him, it's Hermon, and then it's Josh. Those are like the three like big guns that I can see sort of like being those easy, oh my God, let's throw up these physical guys. And I think that Gino is probably the most stereotypical big gun guy that's on the cast. So he's going to be in the crosshairs of at least three people coming into the game. Now, that being said, there are two women, maybe three, if I'm remembering correctly, that are in heat, okay? That are like, I am ready to come on this show and just find a husband, okay? So that could help him, okay? That could help him. I am relying
showmances are big on Big Brother Canada.
Exactly. I am relying on the thirst. Okay, I am relying on somebody to be thirsty to keep him around, and maybe he becomes an Adam Pike where he doesn't win, but he makes it far, and hopefully it helps other people that are on my draft also make it far. So that's what I'm going with. I think, and I think that he is, I think a lot of the bigger guys on Big Brother Canada are usually not like the stereotypical meatheads who are like, yeah, bro, let's bro. Like a lot of them are actually, they have hearts, they're great, they're, they got a good head on the shoulders. He's a family guy, he's a firefighter, so maybe there's like a little bit of some Jeremy Collins upside to him. I know it's a different game, but you know what I mean. So I can see him dashing into the fire to save his alliance. I can see it. I just hope that his alliance is my alliance. So I'm going with it. I'm doing Gino, and it is what it is. And he's catching quite a lot of attention from people that are like, I think Cornbread on this season of Drag Race is also like super into him. So he's catching on.
I think he made Cornbread from BBOT.
I'm glad you specified. Yeah.
That would be a strange turn of events.
Yeah.
You can't be mad at this pick when Jackson, Cody, Xavier, Dane, Ty.
Yeah.
You could even say Sheldon was doing real good in BBCAN 8. Like that's the last 6, potential winners at the very least. Then you throw in Casey even as kind of almost in that archetype, and it starts to look a little samey in recent years. So it's I don't hate the pick at all. And if anything, Aman, I'm glad that you prevented my draft team from becoming a too much of a bromance.
Yeah, I think it's a good pick. I like him a lot. I think that I liked in his interview when he basically said that he knows to not come in so aggressive and kind of tried to play down his strength and all that. I guess I am concerned, like we all are, about like just the fact that he's a big, strong guy and people might be intimidated by that. But with BBCAN, it's not really a no-go if they're a big muscular guy coming into the show at this point. And also the fact that he is open to showmances, I feel like that's really good for him, honestly, because that could kind of solidify him in an alliance pretty early. So yeah, I feel like it's a good pick. It's just so hard to say, at this point, like whether or not it's going to go the way of, the bros all aligning and, they have their side showmances, or if it's just going to be like, we got to get rid of the bros right away. So I don't really know, but I do think it's a good pick.
Yeah, I feel like for me, I really thought that Gino was someone that was going to fall a lot lower and could be like a steal in a later second, early third situation. So I'm not mad at this pick. I mean, everyone's highlighted all the reasons why. His archetype typically has a high variance of either you're in the end game picture or you're like that one in the archetype that gets taken out early. So we'll see if which side Gino falls on. He didn't jump off the page for me a lot as far as like entertainment factor goes, but that's not what we're picking here, folks. So not mad at the pick, Aman. I'm curious to know who had you in the indecision station for the whole time. So I can't wait to find out the rest of the draft, but you did good. It's worth.
Yeah. There will be at least one segment about Gino being afraid of the dark.
Oh, 1,000%.
Probably
Definitely.
7. Yeah. And Pooya, that I'm not used to hearing you talk about Gino and having it be this guy when we talk so much about Gino on 90 Day Fiance.
Honestly, that was one of the reasons why Gino may not have been higher on my board. I'm still dealing with the 90-day Gino in my head, and it's a very net negative there, for sure.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
Oh man. Oh my God.
Than that Gino. All right.
My heart is beating so fast. I'm just
okay.
like, oh.
All right. So Aman, you're good for 2 in a row. All right. Now it's gonna come back to me.
That's right.
I'm in an interesting spot here. Okay. But I think I know what I'm gonna do. I'm going to go with a guy who I didn't think that Pooya and Taran sounded too high on the other day, but who knows? Maybe they were trying to fake me out when they were doing the first impressions. But I'm gonna go with a man who knows how to find a good deal and give you a good deal. I'm going with Hermon.
Oh my.
Hermon.
Hermon. Yes. Pooya, why are you trying to say that? Is he canceled and I don't know this yet?
No. I watched the stuff again. I thought, maybe we were too focused on the whole infomercial type intro to his video. I just didn't vibe with him. I didn't. I really worry for him. He's not like, again, the same thing with Gino applies. He could go further or he could go out early, but he wasn't for me. I just couldn't connect. I don't know what it was. It just didn't work for me. I can look at my notes and I'll get back to you.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, no, I fall for this type. I think I had Rohan last year. The guy comes in, talks a big game, looks like he could play the part. So
literally a car salesman.
Yeah, I like that he's coming in and he is his eyes on the prize. I didn't think he came across as like super like smarmy. Like he's not like seem like a guy that seems like a sleazeball. His prized possession is crazy suits. I'm a little concerned about like what he's going to come into the house night one wearing, but again, he's a guy who's fit, doesn't have sort of like the like big like muscly build where it's like, oh, I got to get rid of this meathead. A guy who is he's got some athleticism. He's gonna be focused on the winning this thing. Why not?
Well, it's like he's not smarmy, right? So you're 100. I will agree with that. He sounded rehearsed though, and I think that's what I didn't like. It doesn't come off like genuine. So that was one of the things for me. He in his video where he was asked, what would you keep a secret? He doesn't want to tell people he's the GM of a car dealership. instead he wants to say he works in finance. And I mean, that's an interesting choice in this day and age. Yeah, to go with the finance was an interesting, especially with the suit. I mean, we talked about glasses making you seem smart. If you're wearing a suit and you're looking like you're in business, that might not look well for you either. So that's a little bit concerning. When asked which players he wanted to play most like, he names Kiefer, Tashawn, and says, and a side of Jed, which to me, you literally named 3 people from the last season. I don't think you're watching this
show. Great season. It was a great season.
Phenomenal season. Easy, great season for sure. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not like a hundo in.
Yeah.
The section with his mom was nice to see. I like that he bought her a car. That did sort of endear me to him. But
that was staged, right? Like he's like, I recently bought her a car, and then like they show her like coming out, I'm like, oh, like
it could have
real.
been.
That was real.
He waits till his intro video to like show.
If I'm buying my mom a car, I'm documenting that. Like, hey mom, look what I did. It's my achievement. You know, I feel like that's fine. And it maybe used it to sweeten up his package, like his intro package.
Was he wearing the same clothes as like he was in like his intro?
I mean, I didn't see a side of the video.
I think he probably like replayed the moment, like was like, mom, pretend like I'm just giving this to you right now.
I mean, he is the GM of a car dealership. They could have easily just gone to the dealership, picked out any random car and said, Mom, stand in front of this car and smile for me. It is, I mean, if anybody, like, I don't know, maybe. But I do tend to agree with Pooya. I think there is something about the packages, and it's always so hard just judging it off of this, because so many of them get in front of that camera and they become nervous and they want to, they play into the character that they think got them on the show. So maybe like the uber successful car salesman, that was what they pitched to the production team, and that's what the production team wanted, and so that's what he's giving. And so it's hard to tell if that's sort of like how he's going to enter the game. But I do think that there's a bit more to him than that. I mean, obviously there has to be more than what we usually see. I'm just not, I don't know. I'm just like, is there enough of a super fan in there, or is this just the guy who is like marking this off of like a list of achievements? Like, this is someone that is sort of amassed what I'm assuming is some wealth if you're buying cars at a relatively young age. Like, is this just another notch on your belt, or is this something that you've actually been thinking critically about? And I just don't know if that's the case.
Yeah, I had him as a maybe on my list. I got some good vibes from him, and then like he would throw me off in the next like few seconds of the video. So I feel like I really don't know what his real personality is. I feel like he was obviously trying to like sell us himself, which is obviously what you're going to do on these intro packages. But yeah, Rob is sold.
Rob signed the lease and everything. It's done.
Yeah, he's done. But yeah, so like it's hard to say. Like Aman said, we don't know how he's actually going to go into the house. He probably sold himself to casting this way. Wanted to show off, have that like swag and all that sort of stuff. And then he goes in the house. Maybe he's a completely different person. We don't know. At the same time, in my notes, I said, seems easygoing, open to a showmance, describes himself as energetic, charismatic, and lovable. Don't love how he describes himself as lovable and charismatic, because I feel like you don't describe yourself necessarily as like, I'm a lovable guy, I'm a charismatic guy. I feel like everyone else was kind of like either self-deprecating or being like honest about it, like, I don't know, passionate or whatever. But saying that like you're lovable is like, it just comes across as like fake. I don't know. So I didn't love that. But yeah, so I really don't know what to expect. I had him high up on my list though, because I feel like I too, Rob, was maybe won over by the end. So, I really don't know how he's going to do, but I could see the pick for sure.
Taran, you've been very quiet about Hermon.
Oh, hell no.
That's why.
You don't like him.
No, you know what? I actually I feel like he's going to surprise people that are really down on him. I think that he's not going to be as car salesy as people expect him to be. But I don't know that that's going to be enough if that's the perception that he gives off in any way. I think, if there is some kind of bro thing going on, he can probably get in on that. But like, even if he does that make him like, who does that make him? Like, hopefully he's not the mark of the group, right? Like,
right.
So I don't know.
I do like that he said that he would go for HOH week 2. I think that it is so interesting how we're seeing a lot of commentary about the first HOH over the past couple of years. Like, now I guess like the meta strategy now is don't go for number one because you're going to get your head chopped off. It's sort of like sort of returning to that narrative. So I feel like that's sort of bleeding into this season maybe a little bit. So the fact that he doesn't want to go for the first one, he wants to establish something first and then go for HOH week 2. I'm like, okay, so maybe he does have his ear to the ground about current conversation. Maybe. So
I think he's still in the old conversation. I
later days,
and he's okay.
I think
he's getting the right answer without doing. Okay, I see what you're saying.
But I don't think it's the right answer either, personally. But
right.
Yeah,
but he's arriving to the same conclusion that some people are arriving to without actually being a part of the conversation. I see what you're saying. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. We'll see. I just the reservations are very strong. I am not looking to purchase any vehicles anytime soon. So I'll walk. I'll be walking this season.
Got 2 cars right here.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So let's see if Hermon is going to be. Do they give you a car still to win the game?
Did they even give the car BBCAN 5? That was a farce.
He got it.
He did?
Yeah.
Oh, I ain't never seen that one hat. I haven't seen a tire, a door. I haven't seen anything. Has he sold it?
I didn't say he kept it.
Okay. All right. With the 8th pick, we come back to Taran.
Yes. Now I am between 2 people here, but I am not going to.
I don't want to make a mountain out of a molehill.
So we're gonna move along, and I'm gonna pick Jay.
Okay.
Speaking of Kevin Martin, Jay said that they want to play like Kevin Martin, except they want to do it better and not be mean, which I was like, what?
I was like, does he know who Kevin Martin is?
Yeah. That's like the last person I would have said was mean on the show.
Did he speak with Karen?
That's what he asked. I think that maybe they got some information from Karen prior to going into the house. Now, Jay,
who was mean? That Kevin Martin.
Jay also uses they them pronouns, so they're gonna go by those pronouns in the house as well, I imagine. I like Jay. I found them to be very entertaining in the intro package. I think that they're going to be somebody that, you know, they're not going to be shy about like talking to people and making bonds and connecting, and I think that's huge. I also feel like physically they seem perfectly capable of, you know, winning competitions, doing all right. Hopefully that's one part of the Kevin Martin strategy that they do want to emulate, is the competition wins. Overall, I feel like I'm excited to see what they are capable of in the house. I think there are a lot of different paths I can see Jay taking in the game.
Yeah. I mean, queer men be doing good on Big Brother Canada now. I mean, what else can you say? So I think that there's definitely a lane in which he can fall, or excuse me, they can fall. And it's just yeah, I agree. I think that they are very self-assured. They are very aware of who they are, where they fit. And I mean, I think with queer people in general, I think that there's a lot of like searching for your tribe and searching for who you are as a person in this world that seemingly doesn't accept you. I think that a lot of us go through that journey, which would explain why so many of us are as sociable as we are. So I think, you know, if they continue down that path, I think that there's definitely a way in which they can sort of just like get their claws in whatever alliance that they're in and just ride it to the end. And if they are good physically as well, then that's just, you know, the cherry on top. So that was the person, Pooya, that I was debating. Like, I didn't know if I should go with Jay or if I should just go with Gino. And a piece of me, now that Taran has sort of like given his reasoning, is sort of regretting it a little bit, but we'll see. We'll see what happens.
I don't know. Jay was not for me. I just don't see them doing so well. And I don't know. I don't know why. I think like part of it is I think their personality is just so big. And I'm concerned that they're gonna, I don't know, just be a little too much for people, maybe. I don't know. They also said that they clash with like certain people. A lot of people doesn't like people who can't be honest, which I feel like is a big thing in Big Brother. And so it seems surprising that they'd be so against people who are lying. I mean, obviously in real life, maybe, but especially like in the show, I mean, I don't know. Also, they said they were going to treat the house guests like their cats, which I thought was like
a little weird.
Interesting thing.
Oh, no wonder Taran chose them then.
Yeah, bonding over cats, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just feel like there was just a lot going on in their intro package that I just felt like it's a little much for me. And I feel like it might be a little much for the other house guests. And I just didn't see the strategy and I just didn't see the player there. So, I mean, I hope to be surprised, but it wasn't for me. They were definitely, they were my first no right away.
But I thought that Jay is a big character and had a lot of jokes and a lot of personality. And I really feel like that Big Brother Canada, I feel like the biggest difference between BBCAN and BBUS is that I feel like that it's so rich with like big personality. And I feel like that they really, I think that edit the show to that, and they tend to do a lot of stuff with the with the audience and more stuff with voting, and because it's like some sort of like a self-fulfilling cycle where they really hype up the people who are the biggest characters, and then the audience falls in love with them, and there are powers. So I feel like that, like the bigger a character you are, I feel like it can play to your advantage in Big Brother Canada.
Yeah, one of the biggest constants for the winners of Big Brother Canada is that none of them are followers. Like even the bros, they really did sort of like lead a middle side of that house. And so, I don't think that Jay is a follower. I think that Jay is going to sort of, march by the beat of their own drum in the house. And I think that's a good thing, whether it's, in the right, again, similar to Kyle, whether it's in the right direction or not, the fact that they're not going to be like following the whims of other people in the house, I think is going to be good overall.
Yeah, I will say they definitely had a very big personality, but I think a lot of people on this cast are very high energy, just based on what we've seen, what they've described. So I don't necessarily think Jay is going to stick out as far as like being too like energetic and out there. The other thing I really liked about Jay was the showing the different sides, joking about all that stuff. I think that they're gonna have an easy time getting along with a lot of people. I think, talking about pole dancing being their hobby, I feel like that's low key. We're talking endurance comps here. I wouldn't be surprised to see Jay, clutch one. So I feel like Jay is definitely going to be
Canada. Give us a pole dancing HOH. Give it to us.
Do it. And then talking about the what personality, like the ET Canada interviews, they asked them the same 4 questions. And when you ask someone what personality you're going to clash with, almost everybody has the same answers. Like someone rude, someone annoying, someone that's going to be like,
I hate that question.
Yeah, it's like we're all going to give you the same answer. Like, I'm going to clash with someone who's not nice. Like, of course, we're all going to have that. So I'm excited to see Jay. So the reason I let out this huge, like, frustration is because I'm not mad at getting Jay at the 8th or 9th pick, Like, maybe not like 1, 2, 3. I wouldn't have been mad to get Jay at 9 picks. So once again, in the celebrity draft, Misha gets picked right before me. Here, Taran, we need to stop making this happen. Also, the fact that
you chose it.
Hey, listen, don't say that. The fact that Jay's cat is named Calvin and your cat is named Kellis, this is a little string we need to follow now, for sure.
Pooya, you have the 9th pick.
Yeah, the other thing was that Jay was an easy pick for me. Now it's like I'm in this pool of, do I want this person? I'm just going to go with what I'm vibing. I'm just not going to deep it too much, to be honest, at this point. I'm just going to go with what I'm going to go with. I'm going to go with Melina. I'm going to go with Melina here with the 9th pick. Melina is a very confusing pick for me. I'm going to be honest with y'all. First impression I got was very
confused. I'm confused.
Listen, the bios, we talked about how the bios were short this season, how we didn't go with a lot this season. We didn't have a lot to go off of. Melina had very short. Like ET Canada interview, TikTok, 45 seconds. BBCAN video,
efficient,
$1.30. The bio itself, short. But in the middle of all that, there's some little bits and pieces that I picked up that actually ended up making me like this for Melina here. Tattoo artist turned content creator. You know, what do we know about tattoo artists? They have to sit in the same spot for a long period of time and, you know, focus, hand-eye coordination, do a bunch of stuff. I like that. Content creator, you're out there, you're doing stuff, you're making videos. I feel like content creation is a pretty underrated element to this game potentially. I like that. Does not have roommates. Terrified. My first pick I was like 11 siblings. You've had hella roommates. Like you can manage. That terrifies me. Melina also talked about and fired off like, yeah, I don't like this. These annoy me. These annoy me. I thought that was more jokey in the second watch through, or at least I'm hoping. I'm intrigued by Melina though. I really am intrigued by Melina, and I want to see Melina do well. I feel like at this point, I can't lose with the picks here. I'm happy with this pick, but I'm more curious to hear everyone else's thoughts on Melina because, again, this is the most like I don't know pick for me.
Yeah, and I think that Tiffany in Big Brother 23 was that person where that she had like very, very like short, quick. She was like a big unknown going into it. Was like, oh, she's 40. Later days. Don't pick her. So you never know.
Yeah, I feel like I'm absolutely in agreement. I was very confused by Melina. I feel like just because I don't feel like we got to know her at all. She seems very serious in her interviews and everything, but that could also just be because she's literally getting interviewed and is like not going to play into the whole like I'm dancing, I'm doing this, and like, you know, goofy Big Brother Canada stuff that they make them do. Like maybe that's just like who she is, and she's going to be like fun and sarcastic and cool and whatever in the house. I don't know. And I also feel like a lot of the video was about like her and her sister. Right? It was her sister. Yeah.
Yes.
Right. And so like I feel like we got a lot of that story, but we didn't get really like I didn't really get a feel for how she's going to play in the house or really what her personality is like. So I really don't know what to expect. She's one of the few people that I didn't write like anything, whether it was a no, maybe, or a yes next to her name. I just have it blank just because I really don't know. I hope that she, you know, does well. I guess like we said earlier that this question doesn't mean anything about like who are you gonna clash with, but she did say she'll clash with most personalities, and I feel like that's maybe a bit of like a red flag there that she said most of them. Like I don't know if I would say I would clash with most people. I would probably say like, you know, like we said, the usual, like mean people, annoying people, whatever, but like most people, I don't know. So, you know, it'll be interesting to see how she gets along with everyone, especially because she doesn't live with anyone.
Well, I want to add one more thing. She had probably my favorite line in the bios. It was like something you'd hear in a Game of Thrones promo. She said, you'll have to wait and see as far as what your strategy is going to be, but I will be the girl to make this a woman's game. And in my head, I'm like, Khaleesi, the dragons are behind you. You're going to have this game in your hands. I'm intrigued. Yeah. What can I say?
Well, spoiler alert, but
I was
Rob, that you can't say that, Rob.
I was like sort of like confused about it because I didn't know what she meant. Like, was she trying to say that she would start an all girls alliance, or was she just saying that she would be the winner, and so that would make it the women's game? Like, I feel like a lot of her answers were all over the place, and you're like, I mean, I know that we are very well aware of the fact that some of these people play into whatever archetype they think that the producers want. And so on one end, she's like, I want to clash with most personalities. That she was listing off all the types of things that annoy her. She said that most people annoy her. And then she said that her parents annoy her. And then maybe like 5 minutes later, she was talking about how she was adopted by her grandparents. I'm like, so were you so annoyed by your parents that you asked to be emancipated and get adopted by? It was just like, and then she's like, it's going to be a woman's game, baby. I'm like, what is going on, sis? I'm just really trying to figure out what's going on. It was just a very anxious viewing experience, the entire thing. So I don't know. Maybe she's hyping it up for the game. Maybe she's just trying to be like that too cool for school kind of girl. She's all tatted up and she's rough around the edges and she could be like a scrappy underdog for the season. Maybe that's what she's trying to do. I don't know though. I just don't know. So we gonna see, I guess.
Yeah, she was my wild card pick, and I probably would have grabbed her if she was still on the board when it came back.
Okay.
But I mean, I think wild card is the right way to describe her because I could really see her being the first one out. I could see her just not fitting in with the group. And Pooya's face.
I mean, we could be completely off base here. Maybe, you know, the begin like we say, the disclaimer, you know, abound. The beginning could be
well, on the other side of it, I think she could be amazing. I think that
she could be great. Yeah.
I think there's something about her, and that thing will either make her great, or I think it will you know get her out early. My hope is that she doesn't fall anywhere in the middle.
Yeah. And I don't think that she will. I think that she is sort of, now that I'm thinking about it more, I am getting a little bit of Victoria, just a little bit.
Oh,
just, you know, whereas Victoria, I think they're like two sides of the same coin. Like Victoria's like the happy-go-lucky, oh my God, yeah, we're going to play this game, but screw you, bitch. I feel like Helena is more like, yeah, screw you, bitch, but I'm going to play this game. Like, I just feel like they're both, like, they're like evil sisters, twisted sisters, and one maybe might be able to make it far, and the other might just be the way of the buffalo. So we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Okay. All right. We go from Melina to Melissa.
Oh,
with the 10th pick.
Actually, my second pick is still on the board. So
your second pick overall.
Good. Yeah. Although
okay.
I'm gonna say this is that I don't think any of you guys would want to pick this person. So I think like I was putting them up there because I figured like I figured I wouldn't get my first pick, Kyle. So I was like, well, you know, I'm just gonna go with like random people that you guys probably won't go for. I guess it's not really random because I'm excited about her. So I'm gonna pick Jacy-lynne. I am very excited about her. She reminds me so much of my old roommate. And like I just really honestly I hope that she's like my old roommate because my old roommate has a great personality. But it's very similar to this where you first impressions, you're like, oh, this girl is all about looks and guys and blah, blah, blah. But actually is like a fighter and actually has a really great like sense of humor and everything. And I could get like glimmers of that when I was watching her in her interviews. And I guess I feel like there's like Beth like upside, I guess. I feel like she reminds me a lot of her as well. And I really liked her. And then I liked how she is talking about, first of all, she says she has an athletic side and she also wants to use a guy to win comps and is interested in like doing the showmance thing. So I think that's a good strategy for her. And I could see it working out well. I honestly, I just really liked her personality. So I'm hoping that she does well and that it is really like how I'm thinking she might be, and that the whole like I'm just a cute girl looking for a showmance is kind of just like what she's giving to production. So we'll have to wait and see, but I really liked her stuff. I'm interested. She
says she's single and ready to mingle, Melissa.
Yeah, and in Big Brother Canada, that's good news.
Mm-hmm.
You got to be ready to mingle. Yeah, I mean, Jacy would have been my pick after Melina, primarily because she seems to be a fan of the game, and I like what she said about wanting to play like Paris, and like she had an understanding of Paris's game, which is probably more than most of the people that spoke in that video did about anybody's game. So I appreciated that. But I do have some reservations, primarily because she is young, which could be an issue in the cast. I mean, not too young, 24, not
early
bad.
Days.
But even though she's 24, I mean, in the videos, like she comes off as a little bit younger, not in a bad way. But I do think that it could theoretically hurt her game. And Beth upside to me is kind of Beth downside.
Why don't you go on the block, Beth?
It's not.
I like Beth.
Yeah, it's just. I mean, even just for the memes, I feel like at some point somebody's gonna just.
Do you want me to put Beth up?
Put her up. So I don't know. I mean, I feel like there could be something here, but I'm skeptical. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I mean, I did say this on the first impressions. The minute she brought out the competitive figure skating, I was like, I've been burnt by this once.
Yeah.
Not doing this pick. I think the Paris thing, which is the last video I saw, that was the best part of it. And I want to preface this, Melissa, by saying I don't think she is your old roommate, because I'm not disparaging your roommate. I've never met your roommate. But I was I don't know. She's like, again, she comes in 24 years old, younger part of the cast. But unlike Kyle, I think she will seem more like the youngest than Kyle may have. And as far as some of the stuff she mentioned in her strategies, go inside, play both sides, manipulate people. And then also a fact about me that surprises people is I have a short temper and very little patience. Those are not good qualities for me when it comes to Big Brother. If you're short temper and little patience, like, you're not winning Buzzkill. That's not for you. You're not winning Endurance. That might not be for you. But I think she's physically capable of doing a lot. Comes from Thunderby, Ontario. Talked about hiking, snowmobiling. I think she's gonna, have the physical stuff down. But I don't know if I can see her playing both sides and manipulating people. But we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, I mean, the showman's thing is cause for concern, but also can be of great help. I'm literally relying on it for one of my picks. So I think that there is definitely a lane of success there. I mean, ice skating is no joke. I just got done watching some of the Winter Olympics. Those people be going through it. Okay. And the fact that she took a blade to her leg, I'm like, and she's still standing. Okay. The girl is literally willing to do anything to compete. She said that she's competitive. She said that she flips tables over board games. So I want to see that kind of energy. I want to see someone that just wants to continuously fight for the win. Maybe there's a little bit of a Kayla energy lying deep beneath that sweet, bubbly ice Disney princess persona. So I'm kind of surprised that she fell this far. I think that she's probably one of the top picks for, at least for the women. So I probably would have snatched her up if she were still around. So I'm excited by the pick. And yeah, we'll see what happens. Like, her wanting to be like Paris is that's exciting. That's exciting. Like, because Paris, I think still to this day, I mean, even through all of the coverage of RHAP and the online community, I think that Paris's game is severely underrated. So anyone that likes Paris, that's a good sign to me.
Okay. Everybody has 2 picks at this point. We have 1 round left in the draft. Okay. Aman is going to be up with the next pick. Then me, then Taran, then Pooya, then Melissa. Let me tell you who's left on the board. Okay. We have still on the board Betty, Helena, Kevin, Marty, Summer, and Stephanie.
Okay. I think I know what I'm going to do. But a piece of me thinks this person is an icon, but also is like, ew. Just ew.
Let's just pause on that for a second. This person is an icon, but this person is also like, ew.
And she's ew, or she is ew because of what she did. But that's also what makes her an icon.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with Miss Summer Sales.
Summer Sales.
No ew detected. That was all icon to me. That was all icon to me.
Maybe it's just the super fan in me. Maybe it's because I have a personal axe to grind, because I have people that have said the same shit to me. But the fact that she went ahead and applied to be on the show, not even being a fan of the show, only to one up the coworker that she doesn't like, is just so iconic. But it also makes me want to just send her hate mail. I am just like, really, girl? That is some of the most vindictive.
Can you tell that story real quick, Aman?
So she said in her interview that the only reason that she applied to be on the show is because there's a coworker of hers that she does not like, and that coworker is a super fan of the show, and so she has decided to apply so that she could get one up on her. And not only does it stop there, but in her intro package, she's like, hello, it's me, I'm on your TV screen, clearly sending a message to the coworker that she does not like. Did
her coworker apply? Did she take her spot, or is she just ruining the show for her coworker?
I am assuming
the latter.
The way that she described it, I mean, at least that's the way I'm taking it. I think that her coworker probably has applied to be on the show. I don't know if she's applied this year.
Her coworker is in Pooya's DMs, like, hey, just so you know, my coworker is on. She's really annoying.
I feel like
she's so stupid.
I feel like that there's a shot that's what's going on here. I am sure that there's probably a casting director that was like, okay, so who is your coworker? And they go into the list of applicants, and they're like, okay, got it, you're on the show. Let's see how this pans out when you get home. I think that is amazing. And it's also just it's just burning my ass just a little bit, because if people have said the same stuff to me and it is so petty, it is so vindictive, it is so effed up, and I just won't stand for it.
What did people say to you, Aman?
People tell me all the time, oh, I'm just going to get on the show just so that you have to deal with me being on the show. Because
all the time?
People tell you?
Yes. So I am having a visceral reaction to this, and I know that probably isn't the best way to enter a draft pick, but I also find the fact that she was actually able to do it, I find it just the right amount of petty that I'm like, I want to see what the hell you do with your chance now. You done did it, girl. You did it. Mission accomplished.
You should tell them that, listen, I don't need you to do that. Big Brother does it on its own. Every year they find somebody that ruins the show for me.
I mean, my response to people that tell me that is all the time. Like, most of the time, I'm always like, great, you know, that's great. I would love to actually have somebody that I know on the show. I think that would really just like make the viewing experience just so much interesting and more just better for me. So go ahead, do it. Apply to be on the show. Beat me all you want. It's fine. It is what it is. I just want to see what you do with your time now that you're on the show, Miss Summer. I want to see what you do. I want to see, are you just all talk? You're on the show now. Can you actually follow through with continuing to be good at it? We'll see. I mean, it's this is an interesting pick for me. I just want to see how she does. I think that she's got a little bit of spice to her. She's got a little bit of flair to her. And if she can match that with a few comp wins, then maybe she's, another one of like the most fierce femme fatales that we have on Big Brother Canada. And I kind of want to see it, and I kind of want to watch her fail at the same time. I'm just saying. This might be the first time in which I have drafted somebody that I'm like, wouldn't be so mad if you lost this, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Well, I will say this, for someone who just did the show to be petty, when asked who she would want to play most, like, she did list off 3 people that were not from this last season. Paris, Ika, and Gary were named, which makes me feel like maybe at least, Summer did that homework and is prepared, which I do love that. If your reasons were petty, listen, this is the job now, Rob. Now hired.
You think the coworker got her fired? Is that what happened?
See, that's the one thing. I wish that we had more ammo on. I mean, obviously people have to sign releases or whatever, but I did wish that we had more backstory about it, because if this is a horrible person, then by all means, yes, Summer, yes, take her down, take her dream away from her.
Maybe we'll get the story in the live feed.
Yeah, but we don't know. We don't know if this coworker could be as sweet as pie, and she's like just being vindictive, so we don't know.
Yeah, I feel like for me, I agree with you. Summer was a no for me. She just seems a little too out there. She seems really, like goofy. I don't know. I can't get a hold on her personality. I think it might be a little much for people. And I agree. The whole, casting thing, very vindictive. It just like, it wasn't for me. And I have to say, I didn't find it like fun. I found it just like mean, and to be like sitting there bragging about it, it's kind of like, I don't love it. And then I just felt like a lot of the stuff she was saying was just like really like wacky, like really out there, like the interviews. And I just feel like a conversation with her might be just a little like I don't know, too much. So, you know, I mean, I hope to be proven wrong. I hope that she is like a great competitor and a great player. But to me, it just like the personality was just too much for me in these interviews. So, you know, we'll just have to, I mean, it's also possible, like, you know, like with everybody, if they're just turning it up for, you know, initial casting, initial cameras, initial intro, whatever, that's one thing. But if that's really the personality, then she might have a tough time with people in the house.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great story to tell casting. You don't. If I'm applying, I'd be like, listen. So there's this guy that does these live feed updates every morning. His name's Taran. I want to go on. I'm gonna piss him off. That's what I want to do. And there's this other guy that I did some drafts with that I know loves the show. I want to get there before him. Like, if I say this stuff, I think it could work in my favor. They're like, ooh, okay. If he's willing to do these little things to piss some people off, I can't wait to see what he's willing to do in the house to do some other stuff.
I don't know. I get the sense you get in the room and you're like, yeah, so I want to be on the show to piss off a guy who covers the live feeds. I think that they might be like, all right, we're going to see the next person.
Yeah, I mean, listen, it might be a little niche, but if Cobb Moore gets on for the memes, I can get on for the, you know, you can get on for the memes with Canada, which is nice.
Yep.
I do like that. Memes are great.
They asked Summer about what's a fact about you that surprises people. She says, I am a homebody. I don't like humans. Well, I like some humans. All right, so that's good.
Some. I think we all like some humans, right? Like everybody.
Yeah, I mean, the vibe to me felt like a little bit like fish out of water. Like I think she seems fantastic outside of the context of Big Brother. In the house, I just don't know how it will translate, especially if she's not super familiar with the show. The most promising thing was what you guys mentioned, which is that she named Paris, Ika, and Gary. If she's binged the show, then I think that will be something. But I
don't think she's the only one that's binged the show, and I think that she's probably like out of the people that I have left, probably the most exciting as well. So that's why I went ahead and just took the shot.
Team Fun Feeds.
She's gonna be fun, 100% entertaining.
And I agree. There is certainly some room to be like, she's a little crazy. I don't know, but we'll see. I'm personally invested in this story.
Okay.
All right.
Anything else on Summer?
Let's hope it's a great one.
Yeah.
We're not
Much like. Go ahead, Taran.
Which was, we're not quite in the summer yet, but
yeah.
Oh,
summer and the winter, Taran. It's good.
Yeah.
It's nice.
Much like the seasons, will summer be short-lived in Canada?
Oh, I did. Oh, somebody just reminded me in the chat. She did say that she would want to be like in a showmance with Arissa Cox. I thought that was funny.
Whoa.
It's a fromance.
Fromance. So yeah, I did love that. I did love that. So
that was
fromance
nice.
is a friend-mance?
As in they both have froze.
Oh, okay. Got it. Okay.
So, anybody that will ha-ha and kiki with Alyssa while they're in the diary room casting their vote, like, I just wish more people did that. Like, I would be talking to Julie so hardcore. Like, she would be so annoyed with me I was on the show. So, I want to see her do that.
You might talk to Julie. I don't think Julie's going to talk back.
I mean, I'd force her to.
Yeah, Julie'd be like, please cast your vote.
Not until you answer me.
Yes.
Sorry, I'm on social distancing. I don't
He
care
can't
that you're on the
speak.
screen, but
I'd be like, ooh, Julie, who we voting out tonight, sis? Who do you think I should vote? Who are you casting your vote to evict?
Okay. All right. It's back to me with pick number 12. I'm so pleased with how this turned out.
Do tell.
Because I feel like I played the board amazingly. I knew none of you were going to draft Kevin.
Wow. You're trying to get brownie points with
Kevin
the audience. Rob,
brownie points with who, Aman?
You're trying to get brownie points.
Kevin, have you upped your Patreon level yet?
Yeah.
So you all fell for it. You all got fooled. Okay. Kevin did the Dan Giesling, Jordan Parhar. I'm the bad guy. I'm a villain. Listen. All right. Full disclosure. Kevin is an RHAP patron. I don't know him. I've never interacted with him in any way that I know. But I know people who know him and say, this guy's a sweetheart. This guy's not a villain. This guy is wonderful. I think this is the long con, and I don't think he's a villain. I don't think he's going to be hated by Canada.
That's fair. That's very fair. I will say, Rob, the audience all night has been thinking this is who they're getting. So, audience, no idea what's going to happen for you. I've also heard the same things you've heard, Rob. I've heard very good things. I 100% after watching the video, it's like you're laying it on a little too thick on the villain side. Like, oh, Canada, your favorites, bye-bye. None of them are going to be there anymore. Canada's going to hate me, etc., etc. Now, I will say, when you look at this cast and you try and envision, they're walking in premiere night, I'm a little worried that Kevin will still look like he's up to something. And that is my big word. We talked about glasses. Yeah, like I'm a little bit nervous that Kevin might be immediately put into smart, super fan, could be, up to something here. So I think all of that put in, I'm a little worried, but I'm hearing nothing but if you've met him, he's nice, he's great, he's friendly, he's easy to get along with, he'll be fun feeds. So I wish nothing but to be proven wrong. Yeah. But I'm still worried.
Look, I'm just saying that, look, this guy walks into casting. He says, I'm going to be, a friendly guy. Everybody's going to like me. They're like, all right, get out of here. He's like, hey, did I mention I'm a supervillain? Oh, go on.
I hear that, but I think similarly, if this guy walks into the Big Brother house and he's just like, yeah, I'm just a nice, normal guy. Don't worry about me. They equally will be like, something's wrong. This guy does not get cast if this is who he is.
Yeah. Look, points. Certainly, there is he could be the first person out, but
you're taking a gamble.
Yeah, there are no gambles at the 12th pick in the 3rd round. Okay, they're all equally treacherous. But here, I'm taking a guy who knows the show, watches the feeds, knows what he's doing, realizes his threat level, knows what needs to be done. Okay, and that all the stuff that we're worried about, like the stuff that would make Pooya say, hey, I'll eat 200 nuggets if this guy wins, I think that he's putting on for the camera. Well, I don't think that's really who he is.
I have a question. Taran, can you verify that whatever pictures on their BBCAN.com, Houseguest page, that's the memory wall picture? Because everyone else's picture is just the face. Kevin's got this. Kevin's got the
Let's say, is he in the Pretty Boys?
I mean, it's worrisome, Rob. Look at it. That's mastermind picture.
If that goes up on the wall, he's done. It's over.
I mean, do we know anything about the validity of that picture that was circulating around on Twitter yesterday?
What picture?
There appeared to be a bit of a
a stat on his bio. I had gotten that presented to me. And I think that there had been a telephone game with that, but there was a photo that was that somebody did a screen grab where it said on the Big Brother Canada website that they updated his stats that said he had 1 nomination. Correct, Aman?
Yes.
But then I think then somebody else found one that somebody else had won 15 veto comps.
Oh no. Okay.
So yeah,
don't believe anything.
Listen,
why am I not photoshopping?
I would just pose a question.
You think Global is updating the website that quickly when the season is on?
Hey, I mean, last year when Ethan got his ass up out of there, they snipped him real quick and put Kevin right up in there. So somebody's got their finger on the dial. Okay, so we'll I was just asking.
Certainly that there is a non-zero, at least double-digit chance that he is the first person out of the game on Thursday. But if he can get his feet under him a little bit, the guy knows what to do.
So number one, I did appreciate in his interview when they were like, why should Canada root for you? And he was like, well, I don't think Canada is going to root for me. I really loved that honesty, because I feel like a lot of people are like, oh, well, they'll root for me because, I'm the hero. And blah, blah,
he hates the casuals.
And I did love how he was like, I don't think they're going to root for me. So I did appreciate that. I guess I'm concerned because even if you're right in that he's playing a character, which I do think he is, playing it up for this intro thing and all that, just when he was doing normal interview talking, he was really intense. And I feel like if that's the way he talks to people is just super intense, maybe a little like disarming and a little like, oh, I don't know about this guy. So I do feel like if that's just who he is, even if he's not like this evil mastermind, it might be hard for him to, you know, connect with people. He did say he has a girlfriend, right? Though, right? Isn't that in the video?
He's gonna bend the truth. I think he said he's say that they're gonna be.
He's have a ring,
right?
Mm-hmm.
So I do feel like the fact that he like has number one has a girlfriend in real life, has like friends who are like vouching for him and saying like this is who he actually is, blah blah blah, goes to show that like he can get along with people. He's not this like crazy evil person or whatever. So like I do think that Rob is right and that he's probably like, you know, just playing it up for the cameras. The question is he going to try and play it up on the show once he's in the house just for fun to be like that entertaining character? Or is it just going to be like a DR personality, or, you know, is he going to have trouble, you know, bonding with people in the house like that? Those are all the questions I had while watching it. So I didn't feel comfortable picking him, but I do like the idea that it's like, he's just, I don't know. He's not afraid to just like be a villain. I think that sort of thing is kind of fun. As long as it's for fun and they're not actually like a bad person. I think that it's like, you know, you've got like your Dr. Wills and things like that, where people want to root for you because you're a fun villain and you recognize you're playing a villain rather than just being a bad person.
Again, from what I hear from people I trust, one of the nicest guys ever.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I feel like I don't know. I might be higher on him if he wasn't one of the nicest guys ever. I feel like there is some upside here in that. I don't think that he necessarily will be the first out or anything like that. I think he absolutely could find a crew, bond with people over their fandom of the show, and even make a deep run. For me, it's honestly his win equity. You know, can he actually get there and win jury votes? Just on this archetype. This archetype does not win Big Brother Canada. It's not really shown that it can until this point. You know, every stat is a stat until it's not. But you know, I that's concerning to me. It's like, who does he beat? You know, who does he beat in the final two? That sort of thing. And certainly especially if he is just the nicest guy. And that's it. Like, he needs to drive the game, I think, if he wants to really, you know, be able to win it, and that's where I'm like, I just don't know who he's driving in this cast, but we'll see.
I'm getting a little bit of like Ryan Ballantyne.
Well, that's funny you say that, Aman, because when he was asked who would you play most like, he named Ryan Ballantyne as his pick. So you know, if we're gonna shame Josh for the Cindy with an S joke,
named Ryan
and explained why he liked the gameplay. Correct.
And I think we all, like, even Ryan jokes about like, hey, for all of you new people who are watching, you know, my season and have found me on Twitter, like, I recognize that I made a big mistake, you know, blah, blah, you don't need to tell me. I thought that was hilarious. And so, but the fact that he's like, yeah, no, but I liked that. It's
if he's memeing, again, I'm a sucker for memes. I will take that. If he's serious, whew.
Yeah. Okay.
It's not great.
All right. We'll see. Anything else on Kevin?
Kevin can wait. We'll see.
Kevin can't wait. He's ready. Okay. All right. So, all right. Betty, Helena, Marty, and Stephanie. We come back to Taran, then Pooya, then Melissa.
Yes. All right. So yet again, I'm torn between two picks here. And the read could be completely wrong on both picks, but for me, it's like, do I go with yet again, like a bolder pick, somebody that I think is going to be playing a little more aggressively, or somebody that I think could really lie low, fit in, and make a deep run. And I think I have to just complete my bold team. And I'm going to go with Betty.
Betty.
Okay.
Yeah. Business B.
Betty is here. Yes. You know, I feel like the winner of BBCAN 10 is going to be entertaining. And so, you know, Moose, Jay, and Betty, I feel like is a good team here. I think that there's potential here in Betty. One of the things that she said was that she is going to be working hard in every competition, not throwing any competitions. She's going to be trying to win them. I like that. Again, competitions are huge. I like that she was very energetic. She had a lot of energy in her videos. She seems like somebody that's going to be hopefully an active player and somebody that's not going to be lying down and taking any kind of direction of the game that is against what she wants. So that's kind of it for me. I hope that she is somebody that's going to get in there and play. But we're reaching the end here.
Does anybody feel strongly about Betty?
I didn't feel that strongly about her. I think she's like the first person that's on all of the websites, and
you think that's a spoiler?
I mean, that's the alphabetical order right there.
Yeah, it's the alphabetical. I don't know. I just I didn't really pull too much from her. I don't know. Nothing really stood out to me. Like, I'm trying to remember anything that she actually said, and I can't, like, even with my notes, I'm having a hard time remembering things that she said. So I don't know about Betty.
She kind of reminded me on like first impression of like Victoria. I just felt like she kind of has that like big personality and like clothing choices.
From last year?
Was that last year?
Yeah. It means Victoria energy. Like I'm in.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing is I saw
Spicy V, B
I
Money.
saw some parts of it that reminded me of it, and then some parts I was like, oh, I don't know. So it could be that way. I don't know. But yeah, I felt like she has a big personality. Once again, my thought is like, is she gonna connect with people? Is she gonna clash? I don't know. But I do agree with Aman that like a lot of like the Big Brother related stuff that she talked about didn't really stand out to me. It was more just like, oh, she's a big personality. Oh, she like has funky clothes or whatever. So like, I don't know how I feel about her. And so I just didn't have a strong opinion one way or the other. So, we'll just have to see.
Yeah, I think at this point in the draft, picking someone, Taran, that says, I'm going to not throw, I'm going to try my best to win like as much as I can. And still also in talking about strategy mentions, potentially something that could work. I'm going to be great social. I'm going to try and align with like-minded people and then beast out some comps. That's not a bad pick here. What, pick number 13? Yeah.
13 overall.
So like it's about as much as you can do with the picks here. I'm excited to see Betty. I'm excited to learn from Betty and get to know Betty. So I think that's going to be fun. I think Betty could be a surprise on feeds potentially, but this is the pitfalls of the bios is if you don't immediately jump out with these short bios, if there's not a big headline, it's so hard to form an opinion around you. And then we just have to wait and see. And again, hope that we're being proven wrong, which is all we can ask for. And this season, more than a lot of other seasons, I'm not mad if pretty much any person on this cast proves me wrong. I'm really loving the cast this season. So I'm excited to see.
Yeah. Okay. All right. We are up to the 14th pick in the draft. We are back to Pooya.
I'm torn.
Okay. Well, let me tell the audience who Pooya is torn over.
Yes.
Helena, Marty, or Stephanie.
Correct. 2 of my top 8 are still here.
Wow.
It's been a wild draft. I will tell you this. Top 5 was like, all right, winners. And then like the next bit was like, okay, people I like, people I'm intrigued by, went 5 to 8. They're both in the 5 to 8 section. I really want to pick her. I really want to pick her. But also, I know she's going to be a lot of fun. I'm intrigued to see her. I just don't think she's going to win, which is the objective of this draft.
Okay.
So if Melissa gets her, if the audience gets her, I'm happy one of you gets an amazing person. And I can't wait to talk on her when the time comes. I'm picking. Can
we stop down for Melissa? How you feeling? Are you in pins and needles?
You're muted.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say.
Okay. All right.
I'm picking Later Days. Give me Party Marty. I'm picking Marty. I loved him. I don't know what it is with him. I've been drawn in. I love him so much. He seems like he's a lot of fun. He's got dad jokes. He's physically fit for someone to, you know, in the later days of the Big Brother realm. I love seeing that he's watched the show. I love seeing that he's keeping fit. I'm intrigued by him. I just enjoyed him. I love hearing his voice. I think he's going to be fun if he survives. The first couple of weeks. If he survives the first couple of weeks, my man Marty's got something brewing. And honestly, I can't wait. I can't wait to see him play. I'm hoping he's not gone on Thursday because I want to see him on feeds. And we will be robbed if he's not on feeds. So please.
Yeah, I like Marty too. I think he's gonna come out and do pretty well. That he's a coach, and I think that he can like play to that level. But then he says that he wants to like kind of like have like a diabolical side. And I just feel like that what I worry about on these shows is if you are sort of the coach, the dad, I mean, literal coach in Survivor South Pacific, then when you sort of like then turn on your pupils, I mean, this didn't go great for Luke Skywalker in the sequel trilogy. When you turn on your pupils, like they really resent you for that.
Yeah. No, yeah, I agree. I mean, I feel like I at first I wasn't really that interested in him when I first saw the ET Canada interview, and I was kind of just like, okay, whatever. Then I saw his intro video and I did really like what I saw. I felt like at first I was worried, you know, oh, will he be able to connect with everyone else? He's the older guy, quote unquote. And then, you know, I saw that he was a coach, and I saw that he was like hanging out with his like kids, and like, you know, just seemed like he could really vibe with younger people, and he didn't seem old at all. And so I felt like that was really good. There's a few things that concerned me, I guess. He said he won't be fake, which I feel like is very important in the house. And if you're going to sit there and be like, I'm all about honesty, I'm not going to lie, I'm going to, you know, whatever, that can cause a problem. Also, he said he likes to play pranks, which is like a huge no for me. I hate that. So that's really the main reason why I would say no to him. But
let's not pretend your favorite player isn't James Hewlin. Come on.
Oh God, love him. Love. So but overall, I think he probably could fit in really well. And you know, even being an older guy, I think the question is, will they give him a chance to do it?
Yeah, well, Josh mentioned, listen, I'm looking for someone older to align with that no one would expect. Party Marty right here, ready to go. As far as the fake thing goes, I did love the joke that followed. So maybe I just focused on the joke when he's like, yeah, you know, when they leave and they're like, I love you. You know, sometimes I don't even say that to my wife. I was on the floor laughing. I just think he's going to be a lot of fun. I really do think he's going to be a lot of fun. We'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah, for me, I don't think that we have to worry too much about Marty early on. I think that the issue is that, like, I don't think Marty wins. Like, that's kind of the trajectory of this character. Like, if he is what we think he is, which is like the lovable dad archetype, then nobody's gonna waste an early HOH on him. But is he going to have the social capital to like pull off a play to make the end game work for him? Probably not, which means that his best case scenario is usually just hoping to win out the last few competitions, because nobody's going to take him to a final two, because they'd lose to him or they'd feel that way. And so, you know, that's kind of, you know, I think we'll probably see a lot of him. He'll probably be like Canada's darling, right? That's kind of the
Canadian Kevin Schleuber.
Exactly, yeah. But can he win? You know, that's the tricky bit.
No, this is the inverse, okay? We had Summer of Steve 2018. This is the inverse. It's Winter of Marty 2022.
I think we're going to have the Steve of Summer this season.
The Steve of Summer... It's the Winter of Marty.
I will say, I thought that it was hilarious when he was talking about, oh, I don't like being fake. I don't like, I mean, I see people like saying, oh, I love you on this show. I don't even tell my wife I love her whenever she leaves the house. And then in like the next segment, she's like, no, showmance, I'm in a loving relationship with my wife.
He had to fix it. He had to fix damage control, you know?
So yeah, I think he's definitely gonna be a lot of fun. The accent sort of worries me just a little bit because I do think that maybe in Canada not so much because I feel like maybe Canadians are a little bit more used to hearing people that sound the way that he sounds. But I know here in America, accents can sometimes be a bit of a detriment to someone's game because you have to take more time to understand what it is that they're saying. And it's just more of it's just an extra barrier. It's not like an end all be all, but it is something that it's a hurdle that you have to overcome that other people do not. So I do worry about that just a smidge. And I do worry about the winner's equity in the end. But I think that he could be generally likable. I just hope that he doesn't try to over-explain his thought process as a fraud inspector. I hope that he doesn't take that role too seriously. Like, don't try to list out all the reasons and all the studying that you've done on why this person needs to be the person to go home because they're just going to send you out next.
He's keeping that a secret. He mentioned he doesn't want them to know he's a fraud investigator.
Maybe some of BB4 Jack in him in that.
Oh.
He strikes me as the guy that every week the person that's getting evicted is going to hang out with him because he's the only one that's going to really give him the time of day.
That's so sad.
Okay. All right. So come back to Melissa. She started it all off. She got Kyle Moore. Then she's going to close it all down.
Yep. Yeah.
You have either one of two picks, Helena or Stephanie. The audience gets who you do not choose. And Dom.
Yes. This has been a great draft for me because I got my first, second, and now fourth pick.
Wow.
So,
wow.
I don't
Melissa
know how this
played
happened.
us for fools tonight.
I guess I did. Well, we'll see who wins, but so far so good. I'm shocked. I'm picking Helena. She was my fourth pick. So
that's the right pick, by the way.
I thank you, Pooya, for letting me have her. I knew you were interested. I really liked her. I think I got a little thrown off in her intro video when she talked about living at home and had that whole segment about not being able to do anything. I did not love that, but I felt overall, I thought she was fun and funny and had, she was self-deprecating and I felt like she would be easy to get along with. And so, I really liked her. I thought she was smart. I don't know. I had good feeling about her. I think that the thing that threw me off was that she lives with her parents and is basically has them. And I think part of it is she initially called herself a walking, talking disaster as her three things. And it's kind of oh, ha, 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 that's cute. But then it's she keeps harping on the fact that she's a mess. And I feel I don't love that so much, but putting that aside, overall, I got good vibes from her. And I really do hope that, she does well.
Yeah. I love Helena. Second generation Punjabi comes in here. Very excited, very fun. Her video was a lot of fun, and I loved everything I got from her. She self-describes herself as basic and says, I'm just going to be relatable. I very much related to everything Helena was putting down, by the way. Here were the reasons why I ended up not picking Helena. Helena said, I'm not really thinking I'm going to do well in the physical comp set. I'm not really been physically active in the last 3 years, but I have big heart, which I agree. She does have big heart. Now, a lot of Helena's game might hang in the balance as far as are these comps going to be a little bit more evened out? Do I think Helena's going to play the game? Yes. Do I think Helena's going to try to go for it? Yes. But if we're looking at the final, go through here, and there's competitions, do I think Helena's going to be able to clutch comps? Potentially not. Helena's the one, especially being 15th pick here. If Helena proves to go first, win the whole thing, I love it. Best 15 pick of all time. This is
best 15
phenomenal.
Pick of all time, Melissa.
So good.
But by the way, I do want to clarify, there's nothing wrong with living with your parents. It was the thing for me was the helplessness that she described as coming with that. It was oh, well, I have my mom do everything. And I'm always doing stuff with my mom. And then the segment of her being Mom, that stuff was okay, how is she going to do in a house on her own for the first time?
This is a whole show about getting people to do stuff for you.
Well, my concern was like, will she annoy the house guest by being like, I can't do laundry or I can't like cook. You guys are gonna take care of me and treat like, you know, I'm not gonna clean up. That's the concern. Not that she's living with her parents and I'm like looking down on that or something. It's literally just that I don't know how other people will handle her if she wants them to like act like her parents.
Yeah, so when I was talking about like how Tanisha said that she was going to try to be like this ditzy personality, and I was like, I just don't see it for you. I totally see it for Helena. I just like it's giving dits, which isn't always bad. I mean, like, look, Paris tried to play the ditzy game and she ended up doing pretty well with it, and then she ended up getting to the end and winning. So if she can sort of like emulate that without actually having to emulate it and just be it, then maybe there's something to be said about that as well. I mean, she's a fan of the show. She's watched before, so I don't think that she's going into this completely blind. I think she's very self-aware. I mean, for you to be that self-deprecating, yes, some of it is to seem relatable, but it's also just being self-aware and like knowing your weak spots and where you fall short. So I think as long as she plays to that and tries to remain as relatable as possible, I could see her being an easy, like, you know, person to put up, but not necessarily want out. And those types of players are always really, really dangerous because they make it to the end. And then the next thing you know, they have such a great story. And it's too, you even in the end, you don't want to get her out because you think, oh, Gino's right there. We got to get him first before we get Helena. So I don't think it's a bad pick. I mean, she may have, you know, been the last pick, but that might be literally an indication of what her game will be like. So
okay, don't sleep on Helena. Okay,
yeah, I was between Helena and Betty. Betty I felt was the bolder pick. Helena I feel like is the sleeper pick. I feel like she could absolutely be in this game for a long time. The biggest concerns, as Pooya said, the lack of like not just that she said like physical comps are going to be tough, but like just the fact that it doesn't seem like she's super into the winning of the competitions in the first place. Like that's not great for me, and I want to see more agency. You know, I want to see that she is somebody that's going to try to drive the game. I don't think that's there from what I've seen, and I think that's going to make it difficult for her to win. But I think she absolutely has a shot here to make it far.
For sure. I will oh god.
Gesundheit.
I will say, you know, talking about someone who didn't really win any competitions and gave us a big surprise and then took the W, I could see Paris upside here. I'm not mad at some Paris upside here. So again, I would love nothing more than to be proven wrong and have Helena take the W at the end. But we'll see. Can we talk about who the audience got?
Yeah, let's talk about what went wrong for Stephanie, where she went undrafted, except by the audience, and Dominic has Stephanie.
How do we think Dominic feels about this, Rob?
I don't think he's going to be thrilled.
Can you ask him who he would have picked first overall?
Yeah, I can get his top three.
Okay, please.
So here's Stephanie, also single and ready to mingle.
Yep.
Yeah.
Another one of my Gino insurance packages.
Yeah. I feel like I mean I considered Stephanie as another like sort of bolder pick, like Stephanie or Betty, but I went with Betty just because I feel like she has more upside than Stephanie does. But Stephanie, I think, has, you know, like she could have like a Rachel Riley upside, right? Like I could see her being like a bold player that's like winning competitions and getting out there. She seems very outgoing, but it's just it's hard to see exactly where she fits in with this cast, and how she ultimately wins the game. But you know, I would not sleep too much on Stephanie.
No, I think if you're the audience, you got a pretty decent pick. I feel like you were not expecting. Yeah, I feel like, you know, in the question of who would you want to play most like, Stephanie mentions Kayla, mentions Cassandra, mentions the side of John Party. So someone who definitely knows the show, at least to some degree. I believe I heard from Bruno that Stephanie also knows some of the former players of BBCAN.
I'm not going to guess which ones, Pooya.
I mean, I wouldn't be able to tell you because I'm not sure either. But I think there is upside here for Stephanie. I think we look at Gino as someone who could have a showmance take him far. I can see the very same fate for Stephanie. That could be something that happens. Ultimately, the reason Stephanie was very low on my board in the bottom 4 was that Stephanie's someone, again, we didn't see a lot of in the video, a lot of information about highlighting what kind of gameplay, what's going to happen. We mostly saw the focus be on I got 4 to 5 guys DMing me every day.
Boom.
I'm here for the flirtation. I'm here for the showmance. That's one element of the game. There's a lot of other stuff in the game that I need to see. So we'll see.
Yeah.
That was my biggest gripe with her as well. I was like, this seems to be the wrong show for you. And not to say that I necessarily feel this way, but I know that there remains to be a bit of like a misogynistic double standard when it comes to reality television, where if there is a woman that is super self-assured about the way that she looks and how to use that to her advantage, it tends to turn other players off. And I just worry that she will lean too much into that, and the other women potentially, or even some of the guys that aren't as infatuated by that, are going to be like, not really feeling that, sis, time to go. Not saying that it's fair, not saying that it's right, because I literally just chose Gino for those exact same attributes, but because he's a guy, it might work out in his favor, but because she's a woman, it might not. So I'm just a little worried about that. So I hope that she gives us a bit more of like, you know what, I'm here to be, I'm gonna beat these guys at these comps. I'm gonna use them if I need them, but if I don't, then screw them, let's kick them out. Because if I'm here for like the potential Rachel Riley. This could be like Big Brother Canada's new Janelle. You know what I mean? So maybe we get that. But I guess time will tell. Let's see how she integrates into the
Shayna Moakler of Big Brother Canada.
Yeah. I think it's a really good pick for the audience. I think it's a really good one.
Yeah. I don't know. I saw it in Shayna. I don't know if I see it in Stephanie, but we'll see.
If she could eat one thing in the house, it would be pickles. Watch out, Akiva.
Akiva and Stephanie, 2 peas in a pod.
All right. Anything else on Stephanie? Do we have her? Did I show her picture? Do we have her picture?
Yeah. We'll see.
All right.
Probably not.
It's the one you didn't see.
It's the one you didn't
see.
There you go. Your picture. Yeah, that if you care enough, audience, you'll look her up. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. 16. The audience gets Stephanie. All right. Let's talk about who walked away with whom. All right. Melissa's team. Okay. Melissa walked away with what a haul for Melissa. Okay. Started off with the real Kyle Moore, then Jacy-Lynne and Helena. How you feeling, Melissa? Great, right?
Feeling good. Feeling real good.
Okay. All right. Then Pooya, you got yourself Dr. Nash. You got yourself Melina, and you got yourself Marty.
I love my team. I'm vibing with this team. I'm gonna enjoy watching them play. I can't wait.
Okay. All right. Taran, you picked up the Moose. Then Jay. Then Betty.
Yes, man, I could really win 3 times in a row.
Oh, we couldn't we?
Good. You could do it.
Someone in the chat pointed out that you have the Riverdale team.
Yeah.
You've got Moose and Betty.
Where's
I'm
Midge?
sure Jay is some sort of character in there.
Yeah.
No, Moose was a Riverdale character.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Then for Team Rob, started off with Jessica, then Hermon, then Kevin. It's a bold team.
Bold indeed.
Big swings.
Massive swings.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then for Aman got Tanisha, Aman got Gino, and Aman got Summer.
Yep. I like my team a lot. Trinity of triple threat. I think I've got a pretty well-rounded team, so I'm excited.
I feel like Taran's team is not his usual team, so I'm interested to see what the strategy is.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like normally he picks people who we all are like, oh yeah, that person could that's a winner. I could see it. And I feel like this time he kind of like went way far out there and picked
Melissa,
like
don't say this because if he wins, he's gonna clip this and he's gonna be like, I'm just messing with you guys at this point. Like y'all are nothing at this point.
Don't think too hard. Don't let him suck you into his mind games.
It doesn't matter what kind of players I pick. I've got the touch.
See, this is what's gonna happen. He did it on purpose.
So are you saying it's not the players, it's you?
Yeah.
He's the puppet master.
Yeah.
I honestly think like he did this on purpose. He picked people that we're shocked by, and so that when he wins, he's going to be able to say like, and look,
that already happened in the Survivor draft.
Yeah, look, it's already paid off for me.
Okay. Can I quickly ask Melissa? So Melissa, during the draft, you know, everyone was like, you know, this person was top half. You were like, yeah, this was a yes for me. This was a no for me. This person was in the maybe pile. How was your rankings? Yeses, nos, and maybes? Like, how did you group them up?
When I watched the videos and saw the intro packages, I basically like I wrote like little things that they would say. And then like first impression, it was like, yes. If it was like strong, no, maybe was like leaning more towards yes, but I didn't really set it over the edge. And then nothing for people that I just didn't know, I couldn't get a read on. And so then I went and created like a list of people starting with all the yeses, then going to the maybes, then going to the blanks, and then going to the nos.
I see the American Idol strat.
That's interesting because what I did is that I went through each person and I said moose or not
do
moose.
I want this person to win?
If they were not moose, I didn't pick them. And if they were moose, I did pick them.
Wow,
so you're
that's
saying
a good strategy.
because you have the touch, so you deliberately, anybody that you did not choose, you were saying is not going to win the game. So you're saying that
you were banning them to lose.
Yeah, well,
so you're saying that you have relegated Kyle Moore to losing this game.
Wow, ouch.
Well, look, if you think about it, I did choose Kyle Moore last year.
That is not canon, Taran.
That's not canon.
For wanting to pick first.
That's not canon, Taran.
Okay. All right.
Pretty
we'll have to see how it all is going to play out when we get to Wednesday night, when we will be back to bring you our coverage of the premiere of Big Brother Canada 10 coming up on Wednesday night. It'll be Taran, Melissa, Chappelle, and myself live after the premiere of Big Brother Canada coming up at 9:15 p.m. Eastern time on Wednesday. Also on Wednesday, earlier in the day, I will be taking a look. It's a look at the Survivor 42 cast as Bryce Isaiah, the Purple Pants Badass, joins me to take a look solely at the photos of the Survivor 42 contestants to determine who's going to win. Bryce has an amazing track record with this, not always the winners, but last season he predicted Shan. He was feeling Shan before the season even started. We'll take a look at the pictures with Bryce live on Wednesday, 3 p.m. Eastern. Join us as we get to 1 week until the Survivor premiere. How about that? Okay.
Awesome.
Love it.
Then, the Survivor 41 draft is going to be
a mega draft.
Oh, boy. Yeah. If you didn't get enough to draft Taran tonight, come on back on Sunday night when we will have the sequel to one of the most fun podcasts of the year last year.
That's a lot of people. Y'all gonna be trading off on players. One gets this person this week, the other person gets that person the next week.
Yeah. So join us for the Survivor 41 pre-season draft coming up on Sunday night. That's gonna be live at 8 p.m. Eastern time.
Excited.
As we kick off the Survivor premiere week next week.
Can I spoil something for that draft?
Okay, what is it, Pooya?
There will be 0 chicken nugget wagers. Please do not ask me how many nuggets I'm putting down. We are not eating chicken. We are not eating chicken nuggets. We're not eating chicken wings. No McRibs. No pickles. No food will be put on the line. No pickles. Sorry, Stephanie. Sorry, Keeve. Not for you. We move. That's
All
it.
right.
How many
This week,
grenades, Pooya?
How many what?
How many grenades?
How dare you? Don't say that. Don't. You know that word upsets me. What happened last year? No, stop it.
Okay.
Oh, nuggets,
This week it's finale week on The Amazing Race. Catch up on the penultimate week of The Amazing Race 33 with myself, Mike Bloom, and Jessica Leese as we are recapping the season of The Amazing Race in our Rob's podcast feed. Earlier today, I caught up with Pooya. We talked about another Gino. Okay. As we see Ben and Mahogany got to get together and talk with Mahogany's parents and much more. Pooya, any highlights?
We definitely had a good time both taking turns impersonating Gino, which was lovely. We had a good time there. No, I mean, the episode was a little slow, but that means the podcast was still great. So definitely check it out. We had a good time.
Okay, check that out in the 90 Day Fiance podcast feed. Also, the continuing saga of Joe Millionaire is also rolling along. Jenny, Autumn, and myself talked about episode number 9 of Joe Millionaire this past week, as I was very disappointed with a non-elimination episode of Joe Millionaire this week. But hopefully your frustration or my frustration is your fun on the Joe Millionaire Recap podcast.
One more pod, Rob. Got to keep it going.
Got to keep it going. Oh, has anybody seen the new Texas Chainsaw Massacre?
Oh boy, is it good?
Not really. Talked about it with Chappelle. Really broke down all things Leatherface on the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Chappelle was really great at breaking down everything, all the different fight scenes in the movie, everything that was going on. You see, this time, a bunch of influencers move into Leatherface's town.
Oh, wow. Perfect.
Were they fight scenes or were they murder scenes?
Yeah, I mean, they fight Leatherface, but then Leatherface murders them. Yeah.
Well,
Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Yeah.
Keeping it current.
Very fun. All right. Taran, last time out on the Taran show, you talked to some Big Brother Canada royalty.
Yes, Anthony Douglas was with me to talk about he did mention All Stars. When is that going to happen? We talked about a lot of things. Really fun to have Anthony Douglas on. Great guy. And this coming week, sometime tomorrow or so, I'm going to have another Big Brother Canada guest. It is our reigning champion, Ty, will be joining me for the Taran show to kick off season 10. We'll be talking to Ty to get a sense of where he's at since the win.
Okay. All right. Check that out on the Taran show. Aman, what's going on over on Drag Race?
I was not on the Drag Race podcast this past weekend. I was out celebrating my birthday. Yay me. But
Happy
please,
birthday.
Thank you. But please check out on the podcast. It was a pretty great episode. A bit of I won't say shocking elimination, but definitely the queen that went home this past week was definitely some people thought would be lasting a lot longer. So the game is definitely opening up for Drag Race 14. So it's a pretty interesting season so far.
All right, check out this week's Drag Race with Liana and Beth over in the Drag Race podcast feed. Of course, March 1st is hours away. And of course, it is a great time to check out everything going on over on the Rob's Podcast Patreon. I saw more than a few people in the chat talking about, well, how do you watch this show? We make it very easy for you to watch Big Brother Canada, Australian Survivor as well, whether you're watching live or after the fact. It's very easy for the patrons to get pointed in the right direction in terms of how to watch all of these shows. Also, with Survivor season back around the corner, I have a brand new patron-only Survivor show that's coming to the Patron podcast feed coming in March. I'll have some more details about that very soon, plus the patron 5 for 5 and much more. All of the Big Brother celebrity slop episodes that we did in February, access to our patron Facebook and Discord, and much more over when you check out robhasawebsite.com/patron. And then on Tuesday night, I will be live. And again, another thing for the patrons, I'll be live with the Patron Cast coming up on Tuesday night, 7 p.m. Eastern. I'll be taking your calls live, whatever you want to talk about, for the Rob as a Patron Cast coming up on Tuesday, March 1st, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. Hit that subscribe button if you're here at the start of a brand new season, and make sure you subscribe to Rob as a Podcast wherever you listen to podcasts. And then follow us on social media at Rob as a Podcast on Twitter, TikTok, and at RHAP Grams on Instagram. Okay. There you go. All right. Aman, what's coming up for you?
You can continue to follow me anywhere at Aman Adwin. I am still. We have finally reached the end of Euphoria.
Euphoria, yes.
Finally have reached the end of Euphoria. I just got done recording with Grace and with Marty. We covered the finale, and we will be back again for just one more season post-mortem podcast with Bryce Isaiah. So if you are reeling from that finale, please come and debrief with us.
Yes. Mari is always a great guest because Mari is going to come in with a lot of notes.
Yeah, lots of
details.
There was lots of stuff to talk about. So definitely a great guest to have on. And I am just not, my blood pressure can now go back to a normal, healthy level. So, all's great over here. You can also still check me out with Matt Lagori at the Choir Room, still searching for things to talk about Glee. So that's me for now.
Okay. Great job, Aman. Pooya, what's coming up for you?
Let's see. Well, you can find me on Twitter at Pooyaism. Okay. You can find me on Twitch, twitch.tv/Pooya. I do stream there 3-4 times a week. We'll continue to do so during the Big Brother Canada season. Obviously, Big Brother Canada's, we're talking about it. Seems like first night of feeds is going to be Thursday night. So I should be ready to go with Taran Friday morning to talk about all of it, try and figure out with whatever feeds they give us. We will take all of it, Canada. Thank you so much. We'll be talking about that Friday mornings. And then I have been collaborating with the homie Chappelle over on Post Show Recaps, talking Bel Air, which is a show on Peacock. It's been a lot of fun. We've done 4 episodes so far. There's still the rest of the season to go. We'll be covering that whole thing over there for sure.
Are you his DJ Jazzy Jeff to his Fresh Prince?
I am the DJ Jazzy Jeff or the Will to his Carlton, actually. We've figured out, he said he's more the Carlton. I was like, that I can see that for you, sure. So that's the relationship we currently got brewing. And we've got The Masked Singer coming back next week. I'll be covering that with Liana Bohr, season 7. Not looking forward to the premiere, but then after that, it's going to be great. We're going to be riding that out. It's going to be very good, very smooth. And then obviously, Rob, you and I will be doing 90 Day again, continuing next week. Should be fun.
Okay, great job tonight, Pooya. Good luck in your draft. Melissa, what's coming up for you? Anything?
Big Brother.
Yes.
Obviously. But yeah, you can follow me
Watch.
on social media. It's Melissa with 3 A's. That's all social media. Just excited to get this new season started.
Okay. All right. Melissa, good luck to you as well. And then to the champ. Well, what's coming up?
Just come watch a winner on Twitch, twitch.tv/Taran Armstrong. I'll be streaming during the episodes. Check out the Taran Show. Check out the Raised by Wolves coverage. Live feed updates every morning, and that's what I got.
Okay.
You're building him up too much, Rob. You need to start calling him Biscuit again.
Biscuit. Look, when they bring back BBOTT. Yeah. All right. Thank you all for joining us for our kickoff to Big Brother Canada. Although I should say that Taran and Pooya kicked this off the other day. The kickoff to the official draft of Big Brother Canada as we get ready for Wednesday night. Hope you join us all season long. It's going to be a lot of fun. Take care, everybody. Have a good one. Bye.